I know my love of my man don't stress me. The Papa bless me, some here to party. I want a zombie. I want body, I pro, yellow zombie. Button up and get jealous zombie. I got a party, people dancing, jealous zombies. Sound cool. Me, I want to wear a quack. Wait, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. Wait, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. I said nobody. Home party. I want you to go down low. I want you to find me slow. Mama, to rock the show. Ready to spend some more. And number left. You know, sit down, number left. Check it. See, I feel no time for check. Man, I want you dance like you ready, don't care. Do the dance for the zombie style. It's me and you, mama, no more stress. I want to dance up in myself. Oh, yeah, zombie.
Let's see if we can walk like a zombie here this evening.
We get jealous zombie. Body, people dancing jealous zombie.
Uncle T-shirt, that's the one in photo. Yeah, that's what die when they should get on around. You know, blast me, if I blast me, yes, what blast me, you cannot stop me. Oh, money can never go. See the album, do it. Papa fire, man, oh, Papa, Ragazza, do remove this time. I bless you, best go up, the transformer. I bless you for the best.
Oh, yellow zombie. I want body, I pro, yellow zombie. Button up and get yellow zombie. I got a party, people dancing, yellow zombie. I said nobody. Home party. I want you to go down low. I want you to find it slow. Mama, to rock the show. Ready to spend some more. And number left. You know, sit down, number left. Wait up, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. Wait up, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper.
All right, folks, we want to welcome our viewers, of course, our valuable member, primetime member. Muna is our primetime member, and many of you guys, good evening, welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio. And I'm Alfonso Zayenso right here, as usual, to the New England Bureau angle. Always here to take on national issues and discuss issues that are really pertinent to our country. All of us have to engage the conversations, whether we agree or disagree. The bottom line, we must conduct ourselves with civility. Be a little bit mindful of the language. How you will feel comfortable, people giving description of you. We must all do that. All right. Very shortly, we're going to get this program away. So, okay, let's see here. And that's what we do. We promote the culture and the beauty of Liberia. Even though the monkey said get a beautiful part, right? Taking all my Bazolians friends and followers of Liberia Public Radio inside West Zone. Yes, please join the man and share the videos. Let's have conversations about our country in a civilized context. Come on, we are in the United States of America. And sometimes I listen to people, the things that come from out of their mouth. My goodness. I will be hosting Representative Ellis Chesia Grants of Grand Gita County, the aftermath of his top seditions, high-ranking members of the coalitions, the aftermath. And remember, Grand Gita within the Basin District Belt, my own belt, is heavily infested with Burkina bees. So now we have Senator-elect Zoe Emmanuel Pennon. Ellis Chesia Grant is in the vanguard. What are they doing? We are hearing new revelations. All right, to all the beautiful people in Radio Land, I want to welcome you to the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. We began this journey pretty close, about 13 years now. At the time, there was nothing was around here. Melich, the guy in Philadelphia, he was one of the person that, were in this competition. But we made a commitment and vowed that we're going to keep the platform very civic, straight to the point, and be able to discuss issues, make information proportional to all. I am Afonso Zayn, so sitting in here for the Liberal Progressive. Last week, he was all over the place because I was in here. Anytime I come on now, he chile, like brother man say he chile. But I'm a big brother, so we want to take it easier with it. Share the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go on the YouTube search engine, so you type in Liberia Public Radio, Lpr-Tv. Liberia Public Radio channel, you're going to see that I subscribe. You can follow our page, you can like the page. That way you will get a notification. We are open to a variety of conversation, social issues, because they are all part of the interjet of the many problems confronting the nation here. So we can always talk about these guys, the building that you see behind me, these people that sit there, we can always talk about them. There are social, a lot of issues confronting our country. So we welcome people's suggestions, things that they want us to talk about, and definitely we create that talking point. And again, we need some analysts as well, contributor. The only thing we are not like CNN, we are not reached the level to pay our analysts and contributors. So you see, Pa George, Professor Zawlo, all of these people that are coming here, they are doing it out of it for the love of the country. So we want some ladies here. Let the voices of the ladies be heard as well. So, if you have interest, let us know. But again, let me tell you now, we do not have all of the finances, the resources here required to pay you. But guess what? It's good to be part of a starting process. Then in that way, you get a voice. If you don't start something, when it is all rep, it is to a fullness, and you decide to be part of that, your voice is very minimum. All right? So, try to get there. This is our theme song here, Joseph Bias and K Praise, two gospel ministers in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Yeah, I'm saying to my good guys here, Bio is in Germany here. That is Basel man. Man, this guy make him. Basel make him forget their postpone. Oh my goodness. Yeah, what's up, my man? And my man Bill Carson is in the hall visiting airbound right here in the own ocean states of Ireland, Colette and Wembley. So now my guest going to be joining me, but Amos George is Liberia Public Radio senior contributor analyst. He's already here. So hopefully Professor Zawlo will join us. And right in a split second, our guest standing by in Liberia will be joining us here. I tell you, they come in here, lawmaker, whoever they are, senator, representative, even minister, will be on them like white on rice. I will call you, you won't come, I will come here and talk it. You talk the people job, you have to do it. If we have any question, the only thing I will not do, I will not just hear anything about them and just jump out of the blue moon and start talking without giving them the fair share. But if I hear it, I will call you. I will give you time to respond, to come here. If you don't come, I will take a bullhorn. Let me bring in Amos George right here, is our senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Pa George.
Yes, sir.
Check your mic.
Let me see.
Oh, hold on. I think that's my, let me stop this music here. Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. That's the man, Amos Joy. Somebody called me from inside, brother. He said, well, The papa your girl now he party nobody on a safe ground with him when he whether he throw it to the ruling party, whether he throw it to the opposition. So which way? So I say, okay, I'm gonna give this number, he 1-800 number to call him and see you here for yourself. Pa George, good evening. Welcome again. Thank you for your commitment to this network here because we can't just do it alone. It's all of us for the good of the country. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Okay, so what they say some between going on and the two ex-presidents. What the heck is going on? They can't try to eat baby.
Oh yeah, I mean, oh, I follow the news today. So what going on? Because
Yeah, well, I see there's some sort of tweet on the Harlan Johnson's page, but I'm hoping to I want to follow both her tweet and that of the president. But interestingly, the focus points here this evening will be playing host to one of the high-ranking members of the ruling establishment, with Ellis Talbot Patriot. He one of those that came first to announce his support to Zopen, Honorable Ellis Chesiagre. And the good thing I admire about this gentleman, he's media friendly. I don't care how tough it is. If you have any apprehensions about things that are happening, you call him. He always willing to come back. Because you remember we've been talking about this the occupations of within the Barzon belt, Grand Gidet, the Burkinabes, how they've been there, and all of that. We've been having a conversation. So we are getting new revelation that there's some sort of conversation is ongoing. The caucus, in collaboration with the bar associations of the county, they are working out. But you know us here, we like to get the news right from the house's mouth. So we managed to reach Honorable Grain. He's one of those in the vanguard. In fact, he's the chair of the caucus. So I have interest in knowing that. As you know, it's a national security issue, correct?
yeah, of course. I mean, what kind of farming these people cannot do in Burkina Faso to come to subsisting farming? It's not making that farming, subsisting farming. Come on. How much money do they make from there?
Yeah. So, and the thing here, you remember here, I know he was soon journal. We hosted in the past. He's one of the first lawmakers that came out to endorse the candidacy of now Senator-elect Zoe Emmanuel Peno. And he made it crystal clear that he will be contesting 2023. That's quite fascinating because he knows that the can't going to eat one baby because if he doesn't begin doing something effective, believe me or not, you're going to hunt him. So who knows? That's why he tried to accelerate his political path now, making a way for 2023. I think that's a strategic move. Adequate preparations, it leads you to a victory.
Oh yeah, right now, the trend that politics is taking in Liberia, and it will now slow down with the access to social media. It won't slow down. So everybody that are seeking political offices, they have to be looking over the shoulder and do something so the people can see some tangible, value that what they elected you to do, you are doing it.
Yeah.
I remember you were on the program. I remember one time he talked about these people came there, they came with people, they are doing farming there, so
yeah,
the people accepted them. But if the people accept them, why is people complaining?
Yeah. So that one we'll come and see now. We want to see who be who. This is why we keep files on people here, but we don't want to be judgmental. That's what this profession calls for. You can't be judgmental, and that's why we don't run ahead of our shadow here. But interestingly, Pa George, we have a new guys going to be going on Capitol Hill. This building that behind me here. Any big thing we're going to see? Any big transformation? Do you think we're going to see?
Yes, it will do. And let me say this: we're going to hold these people responsible. We're going to put their feet to the fire. So if someone thinking now you got 9 years, you're coming to just go and sit down and it will be business as usual. No.
Even if they don't do anything, you have to wait for another 9 years. These guys, nobody going to resign. You know that. You know it.
Well, 10,000 signatures can create a petition.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Liberian people are not, I don't know whether they don't read or they don't know or whether they have the ability to do that to kind of rally that 10,000 signature. And I don't know how effective would that be.
Yeah, here's the thing here. Today I was thinking on something. In the lower house, will Bob Washington continue to behave the way he had been doing? You think so? If he wants to keep that job, and in fact, the job of Bobo Chimo and that of our chair is not 100% secure. Because
for Abachi right now, he's partially on, literally on life support. Because believe me or not, when this new group goes in there, and I kind of agree with your predictions. I see it, Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence of Rivers, Grand Bassa County. I could be if, but it also depends on the ability of the collaborative party to bring closer to these independents. Guess what? I think the independents are going to be the deal breaker in this whole thing here. You know, can we count on Edwin Snow? Can we count on some of these other folks that are independent? Can we count on which direction they're going to be?
Yeah, and let me give you another revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Those independents,
okay,
half of them, if not all, they will go to the collaborating party.
Okay, George, let me hold you right there. Our guest, Professor Zawlot, I welcome. Our guest is already standing by in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, Representative Ellis Jessica Green, a ranking member of the ruling collaboration or coalition. He's representing my own district here. Let's see the Calgon here on baby at this event. I'm Alfonso Z, and so stay tuned. Okay, happening right now, ranking member of the caucus. In fact, he's the chair of the caucus. He's the guy oversight with this election. The election went on well. He's joining us right now. Gentlemen, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here. There you see him is Representative Ellis Chesia Green, the guy who way ahead of the game declared his political intention for 2023. No time to waste. You know, our Liberian people, the guys say, you won't counsel, so the men are counsel, and the men they can carry. So all of these things, the men say, you know what, let me get the cat out of the bed. Honorable Representative, good evening, and welcome on LPR. Thank you so much.
All LPR and other participants who are here to watch the show, good evening. On my side, it's almost like good morning because it's just a 4 minutes after 12. And I'm glad to be here. I'm enthusiastic to come back to LPR to let you know where we are and to let you know how much victory we have gained in Grand County.
Okay. You see, to be honest with you, if there's any other political device that we have, one of the things that I gave you credit for, you're always your ability to unveil yourself. Whether it's 10 minutes to program time, 15 minutes to program time, I think that's leadership. That is all about. And I hope some of those people, because it makes us to give a fair share to be, instead of, yeah, we just hear it from they say, that's it, we draw the conclusion. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome. These are also folks, analysts, contributor, Professor RCC Zawlot near the capital of DC. Amos George is in Atlanta, Georgia. Believe me or not, it's all about Liberia. These folks are all in. So anything connects Grand, anything with Capitol Hill. That debating, we flow your office. I forgot. I always visit the office while there. When we flow your on again, Chief?
Are you talking about me now or our professor? No. Okay, good. I am right now on room 155 in the old building that we usually refer to as Israel and Liberia. And there are other guys. There are other guys in China.
Oh, wow.
Well, we give those names ourselves, I mean, just to appreciate where we are and then recognize people who also made some efforts in getting us to where we are. So okay. China have just built an annex at the Capitol building. So those guys in the new structure are referred to people in China, Africa, and Israel, America, Liberia, the old building.
So you are located within the God's chosen people. The people, what, Israel, you said?
Israel.
Oh, goodness, you're in Jerusalem.
I'm one of the remnants. of the true sons of the, yes, sure.
Okay, Ty, Honorable again, Ty, thank you so much. Your always availability to get us here, help us to understand and avoid speculations and some sort of apprehensions in the country here. We're going
Sure.
to get to some real issue here, but you seem to be a happy man. Let's look at this post-election whole thing here. I don't know if all of the dust all settled now and what are the challenges. Your party, if I say party and the coalition, how many seats you guys won so far?
Okay, so far we are solidly in possession of 4 seats, Granger, Maryland. Yes, we got Granger, we got Maryland. Wapolu is still a little bit shaking,
They on life
and
support.
yeah, it's other life support, but we are still confident that we will get it at the end of the day because we know the quality of candidate we have in Wapolu County. And we got Nimba on our collaboration, so that's something joyful.
Yeah, Nima. Wow.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nima.
we got Nimba, we got Grange there, we got Sino.
In the by-elections, all right, with this guy. Yeah. So let me take the professorship here temporarily, internally from Professor Zawa and give it to you. So if you were to work on a great report of the coalition here, I'm holding my pen. Let me see what I can get a red pen here. But who knows what I doubt what I'm going to call a filling math. You're going to use a political tone, which is not going to be a surprise. So what would be the grade?
At our level,
The coalition type you.
okay, the correlation. The thing is that most of those guys that won, they are loyalists,
Yeah.
and yes, they came through different channels, but they are people we can confidently work with. So I think we got an appreciable majority from the past election.
I told you, politicians. My goodness. They have all of the words to their command to can't give a so but to be honest, I think it was a bad elections. I mean, not worse, but I think it was tough. Do you guys see this coming? Was it anticipated or surprise?
Well, we went into the race to capture all 15 seats, God being God and strategies being strategy put into place. Yes, I think we triumphant in these elections. It probably didn't come directly from our ticket, but we have very strong and supporting collaboration with people who are there. So a lot of vehicles were in place. Politics is not a game of just one size fit all. Sometimes it comes directly, sometimes it comes into your fraternity. And so we are satisfied with the result thus far. Yes, it may not be as probably we have predicted, especially to take the capital city. But as you know, politics in Africa, most time, even around the world, the capital cities, no matter what, they are often known for the governing party. Because there are a lot of heads rolling, you see. Even the 12 years of Ellen, she was not able to win one of the seats, especially in Monrovia.
Honorable
So we are comfortable. We are comfortable with the seats we have. We know we still have control over governance.
Okay. It seems
Yes,
like
there are some difficulties. Yes, there are times we need to put in place. So things probably, if we want to become much more effective, and then maybe yearning for politically capturing Monrovia, we need to play the cards somewhat differently.
yeah. So, what do you think was responsible? Was that your message, the messenger, or the top? What do you think that Liberians or culture factor into kind of get this sort of response? Did you guys, with the message were not seasoned, or what do you think were responsible?
Well, it may not necessarily be the message. In fact, that's why we are doing so. We are still doing soul searching and internally searching. Probably what are some of the causes? Because if we just say that no, everything is okay, we might be deceiving ourselves internally. But we are doing soul searching. We are conducting post-election evaluation to ascertain what didn't go well, what went well, so that we're able to provide. I mean, we make some changes and adjustment accordingly. But I think we probably something went wrong.
What could be that? What could be that? You have an idea?
We are still thinking and looking internally, so I don't want to jump the boat. I could be making error. Probably what I'm looking at could not have been the factor, and it's something that we have to look deeply into. But again, it's good for our democracy because if we are just one all the see, probably we are being declining to the state of one state, one party state, and then people will say, "Oh, they just having free ride." You need to have people on the opposite side to checkmate you. Sometimes, if you are going wrong, they tell you, "Say, look, my friend, you are not doing it right." And then if you are doing good, they tell you, "Okay." Sometimes but in Africa, it's much more like difficult and almost impossible to give the kudos to your opponent or opposition. It's not practical, easily practical in Africa. Yes, we try to adapt, but I mean, the political orientation too sometimes plays.
Uh, could that be the rejections of the president not being doing well? Probably it's, how the electorate fee. Could that be one of the factors?
Well, for now, the opposition weapons were more sharpened than ours.
And I think you guys have recognized that.
Well, we have to because the result is speaking all it. I mean, speaking that, so I cannot be saying things probably that would not synchronize with the prevailing results.
Were you in studio with the president in his latest release? You went in studio with him too?
Probably I was still in Nigeria when he went in studio. I was in Nigeria when the music was leaked to the public. Well, it's a great song. Probably some would say it's not timeless. Some would say Mr. President, you get a lot of things to do, and so we don't expect you to be in studio by now. So, but of course, he had leisure. Probably is I mean, best use of a leisure time that he.
You always hit the point in terms of always speak your mind in a very respectful context, and I know you how close to the president or you talk to the president. Have you had a chance to speak with him since after this election?
Since I came from Nigeria, I haven't had the time. I placed a call, but at the time I placed the call, he was in Guinea visiting with the Guinean government, attending the inauguration. And he just came back at that time too. Right now, we have a seat that is vacant, one important seat in the house that is vacant, and we are going around seeing how we can get a new deputy speaker, because our current deputy speaker got elected to the Senate in Bon County, so that has taken much of my time now, and I've not been able to meet with number one. But with short time, I will meet him. Maybe over this weekend, I will meet him and brief him on what happened in Grand Chile. Like today, Elections Commission officially confirmed Honorable Zoe Manapenu as the senator-elect of Grand Chile County, which is something that I also interesting, and it says my happiness with him because I achieved what I wanted. You remember when I was leaving Moravia, I told you guys the last time we talked, I was going to place my stamp of authority on the election of Honorable Peno because at the time I was leaving, though it was prior to election, but I've already known that we won the elections. So I told you I'm going to place my signature of victory on his ballot, and we achieved this.
Yeah,
And let me just quickly use this time before you come to appreciate our beloved citizens of Nigeria County, of Liberia, who have prayed with us, who have worked assiduously with us to get to this point today that our Honorable Zoe Manapenu has been elected, and also to inform them the tax is not over. We're starting with campaign for 2023 right now. So all hands on deck. We also need LPR support to follow us. You may not necessarily bring cash, but following us and giving people the up-to-date information on what we are trying to achieve in the country, what we are doing to work for our people, projects we're undertaking. Those are things we will ask you to do, not being biased, but openly engaging with us. Our doors are often open.
okay. Something rank very signal. There was a signal that I went in my ear here, especially I can listen keenly when I'm talking to politicians. You're being busy, engaged. The deputy speaker position is opened. Honorable Ellis Chester Green, you've been in that bell, will you been in that building? Are you giving it a second thought?
No, I don't want to disrupt the happiness of my other colleagues because I'm on my way to the Senate. So let the guys remaining in the house take care of that.
This guy, George, Joy, I gotta bring in George and Professor Zawo. He on his way to the Senate. It seems to me, what do you lock it down now? Is it see you up? You sound so confident. Politicians don't usually kind of like spill it out here, but you are saying you're on your way to the Senate, so you want to give other people chance, the opportunity.
Yeah, so sure. Because all the time I was in school, I was very sure at the end of every school year that I was going to make a pass because I know exactly what I did during the school year. So that's the kind of confidence I have, even in my political career. I'm always confident because I know the performance I come with to the legislature. I hit the ground running because I knew exactly what to do. I have gone into elections at least two times at the national level and haven't failed. Certainly, I'm going for the Senate, and I'm certain I'm not going to fail.
Okay, let's pivot a little bit. Let me take you home, gentlemen. Before we switch gear, is there any specific thing you want to interact with the honorable before we go regional? Professor Zawlot, Mr. George?
Uh, let me, Honorable Grant.
He said he only went to the Senate.
Yeah, well, Grant, thank you and congratulations for your win in Grand Gideon.
Thank you, Mr. George.
Yeah, but I want to know from you as a staunch member of the CDC.
Yeah.
Looking back, looking back, the past almost 3 years.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you,
yeah,
to grade the CDC-led government, what would be that grade?
81.
Can you tell me why you grade 81? What are the variables that they are delivered to the Liberian people?
Well, right now, the first thing I'm taking into consideration in our principal capital city, we are basically working on community roles, and they are becoming rapidly a success story. Okay, we are bringing about reform to help to maintain the level. I mean, the trimming our staff, trimming the staff in government. We have reinstated this NRR, which is going to be a tremendous achievement in our government. We started with the National Identification Registry that is going to track our population accurately and also track numbers of visitors within our country. The national identification stuff was something that probably I would say better because at the time it was introduced, you guys were, sorry to say guys, but I'm just being were senior people by 1985, 84, 85 when this national identification thing came. It helped to control and to follow up the population where we are going. If I were to use the national identification card or national identification registry, sooner we will be cutting down almost 140 million in continuous registration of voters and other these things. What we intend to achieve from that, the registry is going to keep track of every citizen of Liberia, where we'll have the situation of double registration and things. I mean, it's going to strengthen our democracy. It's one of the greater achievements. And we are working on access roles to see how we can get our our population to the nearest market. It's not an easy thing. It's something that has been a bad luck of from 1847. Imagine we have roads network of almost 11,000 kilometers, and in the 21st century we have less than 1,000 kilometer paved, and we just started to reunite these things. I think it's a success story.
Okay.
It's not
Now,
easy. It's not easy, but we are endeavoring to achieve that.
okay. 80%. If I have to ask
81,
you,
81.
81%.
Very
If I
well.
have to ask you today,
Yeah,
the bread and butter issue of the Liberian people,
yeah,
that is how they send their children to school.
right.
How can they find work to do?
Yeah.
What will you tell me in the grade? How much impact have people made? Or how many companies since you came to power that have come into the country with some investment, employing about 3 to 4, 5,000 Liberians? Can you tell me that?
Okay, 4, 5,000 Liberian, but one company right now that has not kicked off, but we have some smaller companies coming, smaller concessions and other things that need time to pick up pace for engagement into such huge investment. Yes, they will come because we are in discussions, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag when it is premature. Okay, but we've signed some concessions that will attract investors for employment. But what we much more focusing on, even during our budgeting period this year, one of the major things we highlighted actually that our budget framework paper captured is investment in agriculture, and we are pushing that strongly because if our people go back into investment in agriculture, I think we'll have a sustainable development and economic growth. Totally, we need that, and we have to be emphatic about that.
So are you telling me in other words that the Liberian people are better off now than before?
I cannot say there have always been a situation. Our situation has always been dangling. So I can't tell you they are better off now because I can only say better off now, but we see stability in the economy. I can say yes. But for now, it is up and down. It's fluctuating. It will take time to settle in. What we are
Let
not
me,
achieved over the years,
yeah.
what we are not achieved over the several years, we cannot, come out to say, yes, in 3 years, everything will be stabilized. It's a gradual and steady process. Gradually, we will get there.
Okay, let me just leave you on the final note of this.
All right.
But you want to
What mechanism is the government
Mm.
is put in place to fight crimes?
Crime in a post-war country like this, in the absence of United Nations, we are doing our best. Because let me be honest with you, it's not an easy thing. The population that we have, that were not really integrated in the society, were just haphazard. Those quick impact projects did not gain real root, and the United Nations, had to leave. In the first place, where we had to measure them at the initial stage, they weren't taken serious. And to be very honest with you, Liberia is still in a state of fragility. We have to be honest about that. Because even the violent responses of generations that came up with the war, it's something to really extraordinarily work on.
The people,
So in
the
that
12.
in that
Mhm.
situation,
okay,
in
but
that situation, in
Okay.
that situation, in
Mhm.
that situation, a lot of new youth development programs are coming up. Some of them have already outgrown their youthfulness. And that's what we are trying to bring in, attracting agricultural investment. Those who cannot return to school, those who feel that they've outlived and they outgrown the school ages. So we filter them into the agriculture sector. But I don't know if you've been fortunate to come across the Proper Agenda for Development and Prosperity. I don't know if you read it, but we have some of those things laying out in the pillow. I'm sorry, I cannot quote it verbatim, but there are pillows that have to do with first peace building and national development programs that are part of that. But I will not hesitate. Something I have to share. I can share that with you. If I can get your contact directly from Mr. Su, I can share some of these documents with you to read and get to understand where we are and what are our focus right now as a government.
Let me bring in a professor here. Professor Baines, you've been listening keenly. Are you there?
Yeah.
Do you have any insight?
Yeah, I'm here. You want to come? I can come.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I want to congratulate Honorable Grant on his victory, on the victory of our party in Grangida. We never doubted it. We always believed in the people of Grangida. And I also want to commend you for your brilliant expose on the many good developments unfolding in Liberia.
Thank you.
You know, when it comes to the question about whether Nigerians are better today than they were before, I think the facts are clear. I'll say yes in so many areas. Are there areas that we need to improve on? Yes. Look, let's go down to the basic macro issues here. Taking into consideration the challenges that parents were facing with, like something like paying for a test that the parents never asked the kids never asked to take. For the entire history of our country, students always pay for the WAEC or later on the WAS exam. This government has come in and taken that burden from parents, taking $60 away from, taking the responsibility of paying $60. You're giving the parents the ability to buy about 2 bags of rice extra a year. If you're looking at the calculation of parents having, an average family having 3 to 4 children, just think about the impact of that on those families. Then you take into consideration, I don't know whether Mr. Josh, I don't know, whether you were a student at the University of Liberia. I went to University of Liberia. Yeah, I went to University of Liberia between 1983 to 1987, class of 87. And the many of my classmates could not afford to pay tuition. And it undermines, it affected them, the time they spent at the University of Liberia. This government has came in and said, look, that is going to be a no-no. Our students will come to school free. That's an improvement over what the situation was before. So for those students, are they better today than they were yesterday? Mr. Josh, what do you think?
Oh no, they are better off. In a sense, they are better off.
Thank you.
So they are better off. So those are some of the areas. Those are just some of the little areas that
the burden of wire fee and tuition fees. That of course.
Besides that, university, the teaching staff at university have been significantly improved. They have brought more qualified people with masters and PhD instructed at the University of Liberia. That's what's not happening before. When 70% of the staff was TAs, just university graduates. Is that an improvement over what we had for 12 years when you had $700 million being pumped into the country annually through the United Nations? Look, Representative Grant, he cataloged something, but I think he, as an honorable man, he didn't want to get into the issues about the failings of the previous government. But you have $700 million being pumped into the government over a 12-year period almost, where those basic issues of rehabilitation of youth were supposed to be premiered on the docket of that government. You will agree with me that what the government found to be very important was to import people from the United States and pay them fabulous salaries. So our people didn't really experience, they didn't benefit from those huge amount of investment in the country for 12 years. For 12 years. So obviously, this government has inherited a system that had a very, very unstable pillars. The economic system, the economic governance structure of the country was very precarious. So you bring a new government in that is not receiving that same amount of support, but it's basically relying on taxes of the people, the revenues that the government is generating. So you think about what has been done, the little revenues have been generated. You see road network connectivity. You see a faster pace in like electrical network connectivity. You see the raw water pipeline was commissioned to move water from.
Did I hear you say it's electrical connectivity?
Yeah, it has been moving faster than what it was before. Yes. There's already the previous government owed the West African Honorable Grant could talk about that more. I think it's WAPU, the old WAPU, about 12 billion of obligation that did not honor. This government has had to honor those obligations so that you have current moving from the Ivory Coast, the neighboring Ivory Coast, coming to certain parts of Liberia. Now that was the responsibility of the previous government that was not effective.
So let's do this, guys.
If these people are having access to that electricity right now, is that an improvement?
Well, Professor, let me go you there, Professor.
Because it will be.
I want us to get to, if he has the time, we'll get into some other issue here, but he has some other burning issue.
Okay.
Range around the borderline. Hopefully, I want to give the honorable the opportunity to tell us the latest, and perhaps we're going to come back here. Honorable, are you there?
Sure. And let me just buttress Professor Zaulo's point. That's why I justified the 81%. I thought I was the only person to do that. Not doing another sophisticated militant on the other side. Bravo. So coming to recent development, on the 14 and 15, was in Grand Judah, Town specifically to deal with the issue of this illegal migration, and then the issue of land occupation that had been a marathon issue in the district, in the county. So as an effort to curb this thing and educate the people, we worked with Grand Judah Bar Association, the president, Mr. Alfonso Zion. We were able to work along with Carter Center that supported our project, so that we had training section on the various laws relating to border crossing and immigration matters. We dealt with the issue of this ECOWAS free movement of people and trade. We were able to administer this training 2 days on 14 and 15 December. I just returned from Grand Judah, like I said. It's intended to educate our people. What they should understand about the ECOWAS Treaty, what they should understand about land rights in Liberia, because we also train them in land ownership. How can you own land in Liberia, and who can own land? So all of the information was provided to them through this training. We took lawyers from Monrovia to go and educate the people, because when the people are educated, they can resolve their own problem and dispute coming out more than the leader going to impose solution. So after we passed the information to them, people were like, "Oh, now we understand it. It's foreigner can now own land here. Maybe if we want to work with these people, all we need to do get them to process all their legal documentations, come up with clear contracts that will establish our line of demarcation as how to working together to change our own lives. Since some of us only have agriculture to our disposal as the better way to maintain myself and my family, or as a source of income supporting my livelihood." So we had our training for 2 days. We taught them on the Liberian Land Rights Act. We also explained to them the Liberian alien nationality laws that is supervised by LIS, Liberian Immigration Service, and then the ECOWAS Treaty concerning free movement of people and within our area. In Grand Judah County, those of us that were there, Alfonso Zion, members of the Grand Judah Bar Association, and we were also insistent to ensure that Senator Denny attend the program. He came like for an hour, 30 minutes, and returned to Tiantan, but we stayed there throughout because we wanted to make sure that our people got the information. We brought people from Temple border, Isa Zwedru, Colombo, and then Bason district. About 33 persons were invited, and then a lot of observers came who are interested in this training, and almost 100% were trained in this. So we have the basis now. People will know what it means to welcome your ECOWAS brother, what it means to go into a contract or contractual agreement with them. All these things are intended to help our people, because these guys have capacity that they could train our people to know much more how to deal with cocoa growing in West Africa. So it's something that will attract economic development, and we have strong interest in that, and pushing also to build peace among our people.
So, okay, first off, we want to say it. I think we are starting from somewhere. That's a very good thing. And we just thought that we get a little bit of details as to what happens. I want to thank you again for honoring our invitations to be here. So, Honorable, tell us here, how was this initiated? Who came up with this? And why perhaps this was not seen initially, and we saw it they spraying all over the place like a wildfire. With due respect, they are our African brothers. They were there for us during the crisis. They showed African solidarity, but also the sovereignty of our nation in terms of its security is also paramount. So tell us here a little bit how this whole thing came about.
Okay, with this issue of lots and lots of complaints coming in, people are encroaching on our land. Other group of people will say no, they are our, I mean, colleagues, they are our friends. We invited them to work with us on our plantations or to help us establish our cocoa plantation and stuff. So what we thought on doing, I call on the Grand Bar Association because we formed a kind of a partnership with them. In early February, we're going to sign a memorandum of understanding that they will continue to do what they are doing right now. If you remember, just a few months ago, we partnership with them to review the Putu Mining Iron Ore Company stuff. At the end of the day, we got something out of it, and we have to invite the Justice Minister and the Minister of Mines and Energy to tell us what the status of Putu. So it's along that same line. We say, look, okay, gentlemen, we have this thing continuously coming up. It's a recurring situation. How do we approach it? We want to see if we can develop some forms of contracts. And being the caucus chair, they told me, Mr. Chairman, we can work with you and see how we can conduct training for our people in this direction. There and then we wrote Carter Center. Personally, I did the writing to support our project. We got something close to $7,000 from them to facilitate this training and to provide additional support to the community. While on the training, IOM International Organization for Migration that is also responsible for the United Nations Global Compact on Migration came in. We invited them because they are also working along the borders and they took keen interest in it. So we may have a repetition of this at least 3 times in the county for educating our people. And probably from there we'll develop jingles as to tell people how you can go about your farming, how you can obtain your land certificate, how you can process your deed, and how you can maintain your farm. I mean, just to maintain that peace and stability, to improve the people's economic livelihood.
Wow. Okay. So, is this going to be some sort of a memorandum of understanding? Is it this in collaboration? Is the government, the national, the central government is aware of the what is the potential future of it for them to be
I think
integrated? Some companies coming in, or is this too soon for us to preempt what's going to happen? But is the
yeah,
government, not government or Liberia, is aware?
the government library is aware. The fact that we are aware, the government library is aware. Besides that, we've talked to government over the year. The whole thing started since 2013, 2014. In fact, the defense minister had to go to that location to curb down the kind of way the mass migration that was going on in the forest. Okay, so the government is aware, and that's why we are trying to work around it to ensure that it becomes a sustainable project that will help to keep calm in that area. It also a situation the security has to be going in and out. In fact, we are talking to the government to build or construct an asset road along that borderline because that place is for kind of it's distant away from town. The distance is far, but now with these guys present, they were able to help the community. They build a kind of a footpath that is a little bit wider, maybe 1.5 meter wide. Motorbikes go in and out there along there now, and it also increases the situation of security monitoring the destination. You know,
So,
so we have this understanding. IOM is going to work with us and will keep the peace along that borderline. At the same time, making sure our people are engaged into productive livelihood.
So, Honorable, do you have on top of your head how many persons within the corridor so far? Any tracking ongoing to know exactly the number of persons so far? Anything of things have that started as well?
Well, I have been trying to gather that information, working with those guys. Yes, we get more than 300 persons there, but they are not even up to 500. Though some are estimating is exaggerating figures 9,000, 15,000, which is of course not true. The guys there is we cannot get up to 500 persons there. But I don't know with what intention that people are exaggerating the figure like this. Maybe to create alarming situation. But yes, they are there. They are working with Liberians. Just recently, the security put toward the place and they said, well, the number being estimated is not a reliable figure. But yes, they are present there. A large portion there, at least something like 15 to 20,000 acres there cultivated cocoa already. There's some 1 year, some 8 months cocoa, and some are being harvested.
So, what are other price security measures being put in place in as much we want to make a commendation to show that sort of African solidarity to our brothers? But like I said, the security of our country, of the motherland comes first. What are some other security measures in terms of people that we are accommodating? So, what sort of provision or what sort of system is being used that, in fact, they are actually peaceful citizens coming to be with their like African brothers, then we can raise our own alligator right before our own feet on a road.
Yeah, yes, sure. Surely that could be one of the issues, but right now, what happened is that all of them, the message that is going out there now, if you want to stay here, pass through the proper border points, come in, process your paper, get your work permit, get your resident permit, then you can live here. Let's get you documented. And this is the message that is now reverberating among our people. More to
Message
that,
more to
more to, I'm hearing myself.
more.
Yeah, yeah, I think it seems to be a go ahead. Let me see. The audio was corrupted.
All right. Yes, okay. Yeah. So the issue now of encouraging them to come through the border is clear because some of the suspicion we were having and developing is that probably some of the guys who are working with our brothers here may be using the workers there under the pretext of bringing them to work, probably not saying credit to them, so that we don't have the situation of human trafficking occurring there too. Those are things that we're looking all around. I mean, when you have such areas, you should be watchful of some of these things.
Yeah.
That's why we are very keen, and that one we brought in the International Organization for Migration. In fact, today their country director and I visited my office. We discussed some of the issues so that we put monitoring mechanism in place that no one is illegally residing in our forest and doing unlawful business.
Okay, Chai Boss. Good evening, sir. I am saying to about you from Boston District, Angela County. I really want to I want you to play as Honorable Grant. That the last time I was in Granger, I heard that they wanted to sell our farmland to somebody. If it is true or false. Okay, Mr. Bowie, this, I mean, that's a civil question. It's a fair question. That's Ali does not answer. You simply want to know. So, onward, we're going to be getting, questions that really in connection or that has to do with our motherland, be it Grenada or Liberia.
Yeah,
Once
sure.
you the question we ask. This is a Grenadians. This is a Liberians, and he's just not short things people like you said the face social network and it's happening. Nobody can monitor, nobody can censor it. What? Anybody said it laying in and out there or what?
Well, that was a bullet campaign project, the bullet family campaign project, which failed them miserably. In fact, for that communication alone, honestly, Buhari was coming out as one of the strong contenders in these elections. But when he brought out that fake communication that he and his family sat down together and purported that it was written by Honorable Penny and myself, he lost the credibility. The reason is our people know us, our people trust us, our people know what we are capable of doing. We cannot sit down in such corner, captain team, telling Maggie, we will give you 50,000 acres of land in Granger County because you put Zoe Penny on the party's ticket. That was so. And then with the paper is aging, and the professor probably could bear with me. Social cognitive theory: the older you get, the more your mental decline. So since he ran out of campaign strategy, he needed to do something to think that he could blackmail us, but he trained for the worst for him. He got no, he didn't even have up to 1,000 votes. That was a very good point. I told him you're going to have a backlash for trying to lie during election period.
So let me ask.
So that communication did come from us in any way. We have no link to that communication. The only thing he succeeded doing was to carve out our signature through electronic means and then stick them to document he has written. If you clearly saw the those signatures are in. If you see, you got to know the text that he used, far different from the kind of text that we even use to do our communications. The caption he put under the representative chairman, the character, if you keenly look at it, is different from the character he used, because from what I see on that letter, the technicality I see there, they use time new Romans to write the communication,
You are
and then
that.
I'm coming. I have computer. I mean, when I started learning computer, it's some like 1993 from UN sponsorship. So I know if you did funny thing, at least I got some detective eyes to decode the information.
That's what I'm curious to know. What this guy, what sort of methodology now that he's using? But let's go back to
He
base.
used scan mentor. He scanned the documentation and then clear the background. So he possessed the signature and the fake signature that he can attach to any document you think that, oh, it's true, the signature is true. So I look at it, I told you, Papi, you made a big mistake. You are in a technological war, and it is our age. It's not your age. Right now, you are BBC, born before computers. So
Let's return to base here. I have a critical question here. As far as my concerned, neighboring like Cote d'Ivoire, by and large, is in peace. Is any official, anybody asking the questions why the influx of these people? What are they coming for? What are they? I don't want to say running away, but what is the interest that is driving them to come to the Republic of Liberia and want to be within those corridors? Anybody asking that question as well?
okay, I can answer that quickly based on my background as a former UN refugee protection officer. I can tell you, they had a fear that elections was coming and the situation was brewing in Abidjan. Okay, according to the OAU Convention of 1969, relating to the status of refugee problems in Africa, they say when there is a conflict in part of the country or whole, in the part of the country, any African can move as a precautionary measure. And so these guys, based on this situation, they have to migrate because they were fear. They were armed men parading the streets unusually. There are these Ivorian, the farmers who they brought into the military were seen all around. So that panic, the best thing they could do, you have your children.
You believe your story? I know I went through war situation. It might sound
Yeah,
ridiculous asking this sort of question, but I'm obligated to
yeah.
the audience
No,
as well.
no. It's true. It's true. And so based on that, they have to cross. UNHCR being an agency of the United Nations that is responsible for refugee, had a contingency plan in place. And when these guys started migrating along that line, they were supposed to come. Based on the convention, whenever they are coming, you cannot prevent them. Say nothing is happening. It's a non-refoulement treaty or part of the elements of the convention. Non-refoulement. Admit if there's no need there, then you can do your scrutiny if people have some specific problems because your fear for migration must be well funded.
I know. I just have to ask. I remember at some point in time they were calling me Ruby Ambassador. I went to Cote d'Ivoire. I went to
yeah, I know.
Coming here, but George, before I come to you here, let me bring this here. One of our followers here, Facebook users, asking the questions. Are some of these people working on your farm? Do you have farm? Anybody of these people? Do you have any of them? I believe the Burkinabes.
Oh, the Burkinabe, no, none of them is on my farm now. I'm trying to carve out a contract. If I can get labor, yes, I'll bring them and they'll work on my farm once their papers are correct.
Were they there before or what?
No, they've not been there. I'm seeking employment now because I'm involved into agriculture. I'm a farmer by nature.
Yeah,
okay. Right. Yeah, and I've been saying that time with our number. I need workers because my cocoa is nearing maturity. I need people to work so that I get my return on investment. I will look for them. I'm going out to look for them. If I can get them, they will come on my farm. I'm not going to be afraid of that. I'm going to buy labor. So if anybody thinks that I will not get it, if I get them, I will bring them to my farm. I'm really not in search, trying to gather money to contract them.
But it's on conditions. That is after the paperwork, everything is processed.
Sure. I'm not going to bring illegal people because I know there's a consequence on our immigration law. If I brought them and they don't have documentation, each of them I'll be fine $1,000 US. And I'm talking about bringing somewhere maybe about 20% to work on my farm. And when they come, if they don't have paper, I should expect to pay fine or $20,000 US, which I don't have. And if I have, I should put it in my farm. Processing paper for them or getting them over with proper documentation will be less expensive than harboring illegal people on your farm.
Okay, Pa George, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, Honorable Grant.
Yeah.
I do not have my feeling from anybody. I'm a nationalist.
Thank you.
I can travel all over the world. I'm a Liberian.
Yeah. Very well.
And I will always stand up for Liberian. 2017.
Yeah.
I started commenting on this issue about Grand Guinea, alleged Burkinabe coming into Grand Guinea.
I started 2014-15.
Yeah, 2017 is when I really got to know
about it.
Yeah.
As a result of my cry.
Well, I don't know because I know I saw you, but there were other citizens from Grand Guinea.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was a champion.
Okay, thank you. But looking at our history.
Yeah.
With these people.
Who people?
Burkinabes.
What history?
All right. What's the history?
That I think that was our war. That was the second phase of our war coming in. We had people from that country fighting in Liberia, and that some of us is to the back of our mind. So when we heard that these people were illegally into Grand Guinea, some of us start asking how they got there illegally. What is now that attracting them to Liberia? Was there any political situation in Burkina Faso that warranted them to leave or fear of the tribe being prosecuted or something like that? So one of my questions here to you. I understand this ECOWAS thing here.
Yeah.
But many of our refugee came in some of these countries.
Yeah.
We know what we encounter with some of these people. It was not pleasant. Not all of them, but it was not pleasant. So we can be talking about ECOWAS, but the ECOWAS, it has to be two ways. It cannot just be one way. And some of these people are not coming as mechanized farmers. Basically, they are like subsisting farmers because they're not bringing any investment to come open a large plantation, nothing like that. They just come by a few groups in. So the question some all start raising was, what is in Liberia that not attracting these people to Liberia? What is now that these people see in Liberia today that now the country have become attracted to them? And now I hear you saying that if you have the opportunity, you will if the process of people, you hire people.
Yeah.
The next question to you is that are now people in Grand Guinea that are willing to do that job?
Okay, thank you. Can I answer now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I understand your point or where you come from with the issue of war, but I'm not going to subscribe to generalization. If there were people who came from Burkina Faso that time to fight with Taylor, they were hired on a different arrangement. I'm not going to generalize to punish all Burkinabes because a few of them have crossed over to Liberia to fight. If that is the case, then I will say, okay, let's look at the situation. Nibayan should not kind of grand jury.
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
I'm coming.
no, no, no,
I'm
no, no,
coming. I'm coming.
no,
No, no, no.
no, no, no.
I'm saying I.
Let
I'm
him,
saying I. I
Okay,
didn't say
okay,
you.
let him finish with
okay,
his
okay,
formal.
yeah.
Okay. I'm saying I didn't say you. But
Mm-hmm.
we are at a stage where we are pushing for regional integration as equal citizens, as citizens of Africa. Our young people are dying in the Mediterranean. Our young people are dying in the desert. Liberians inclusive. All right. So I cannot be the one to discriminate against my fellow Africans. More to that, let me inform you, I am part of the Pan-African Parliament at the Continental Parliamentary Body. I am the deputy chair on trade, customs, and immigration matters at the continental level. If I am at that level, at the continental level, and then seeing revolting against Africans traveling into Africa, what am I pushing? To the extent we have come in to push the continental free trade agreement, the Africans should move into, internally, intracontinental movement. We are pushing for that. For this reason, we are pushing for the African passports. I am in possession of one of the copies of the continental passports. Then I come back home. Then I say, look, Burkina I remember 1990, you fought with Charles Taylor. I know other Liberians fought in Sierra Leone. Should we be hated today for entering into Sierra Leone? I know other Liberians entered Guinea with arms, supporting other rebels group. Should we hate Guineans today because Liberians were there? As we are speaking, in West Africa, Liberians are all over West Africa. Should we push them away? It depends on the vocation they are involved with. Liberians are drivers, Liberians are in other professional areas in other countries. If these people are coming, I am seeing that they are hugely involved into agriculture. Our lands have been there for rack of ages. Some areas in our county have never been entered since creation. Should we leave this land there, this fertile land, and be armed beggars? God forbid, I cannot subscribe to that. We are in a new age. Our generation is growing. We should accept people.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but and let me. You didn't answer the other question I posed to you.
Yeah, but I know whether
you talk about you talk about.
Let me end. I didn't end. I was hearing myself. That's why I stopped.
Okay.
Currently, I've started our farm since 2018, and the Gregarians' participation on our farm have been like 17%. The current workers I have there are brought in from Nimba, Bong, and Morovia. 28 persons. In fact, I have also encouraged young Nigerians to do vacation jobs there. And who comes there? The young Grebo children. I'm not discouraging, I'm not discarding our people. Yes, they've been going there, but it's not sustainable. Sometimes in the middle of where they say, I'm going. And then because that they live in the middle of where they should reject them, but those who are permanently based there right now are young Pele boys, Yo boys from Nima, and Bassa boys from Morovia who I took from. I had to recruit people to keep the farm sustainable. Okay, it's an investment. Agricultural investment is very expensive. I cannot put in such huge money and let it to die. No, no, no. All right. So
a couple of reactions.
I am.
Thank you very much.
I am working along that line.
Thank you so much. Let me get a couple of reaction here because when we get what we can squeeze here was something good pop out too. We gotta be fair here. This is coming from one of the community leaders. He happens to be the current president of the Grand Jita chapter in Pennsylvania, Mr. Daniel Freeman. Listening to Honorable Green, I am pleased with his presentation. He is informed on large range of issues. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, before I kind of not literally gas you with a question when something goes down to, let me make it surface here. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Mr.
Yeah.
So, can I just comment, briefly on Mr. George's question about the
Sure.
free movement of Africans, West Africans?
Yeah.
I think Representative Grant laid this thing very clear. But there are some other aspects I want to add to it. You want to take into consideration the so-called the Burkinabes, who you are alleging came in and fought alongside the NPFL. You want to take into consideration the route. How did those Burkinabes enter Liberia? Those were people who were recruited for the most in Burkina Faso and brought into the country. That's a totally different situation you are finding in this case, where people fearing persecution. I'm sure you follow the events in the La Côte d'Ivoire involving how Burkinabes were, some of the things that they were experiencing. So this is a totally different situation. And then one of the things that Representative Grant spoke about is the serviceability and the productivity of those people who are coming in. Don't you see that as being helpful, assistive to our economy? And the idea of just denying them, maybe think about this. What if an American man tell you, why are you guys coming to our country? How will you feel about that? Should the U.S. close its border to us?
But Professor Sao, if I hold you there, how I feel, if you came legally, that's a different thing. But they never came legally. They entered illegally. So that's the difference there.
They are fleeing from persecution. They are fleeing from persecution. Even you and I agree.
If you are fleeing from persecution, you always have to come to the border and register at the immigration.
Not necessarily.
Yes, Mr. George. Mr. George.
I resided in the country for more than 5 years.
Mr.
Why
George.
do you put yourself to the authority?
Yeah, Mr. George. This is a situation. There have been undocumented immigrants in the United States for over 10, 15, 20 years. So let's just get something clear. It's human nature to migrate.
Yeah.
Okay. Except we are dealing with it in the early stages. I think it's important to deal with this, and that's why I have to lobby with people, and we had this training to educate our local communities. Once the people have the information, they're going to work with us to correct these things. And I am not in the business of rejecting migrants because I have once migrated myself. And today, if I can claim, yes, I have intellectual capability, I know it is the result of the migration I had during the war. I could have stayed here and say, look, let me pick up, I'm just like others. But we migrated and came back with sources. If these guys are coming and we are able to integrate with them, gradually our people will pick up pace. That kind of competitive spirit will engender in people. But how people can come and then work and they are getting money now? I can get money. We have to do something to attract people to create. It's an innovative solution I'm seeking to this problem.
Okay, I do agree with you.
Hold on 1 second, George. Let me welcome
the president.
That's the president of the Bazon District Association, Mr. J.J. Dennis, is joining this forum here from Pennsylvania, PA. Mr. President, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So.
Yeah. Look, this is within your district. The mother organization is doing well, doing everything. There's no way we can have this sort of conversation and leave you out. And I'm happy that you were able to make it here. So quickly, 1 minute. Is there anything you want to say about you open anytime the line is open? If you have questions, if you have any concern, your representative is here. So it's important that you form part of this conversation.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Honorable Grant, Professor Zawolo, and Mr. George, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And thank you, Mr. So, for inviting the Honorable on this program again.
Yeah, you're
always willing to come. The thing, I'm a little bit confused if the Honorable would say that the people coming in the country, they are running away from, some other source of, I don't know whether these people, they are Burkinabe from Burkina Faso or they are Ivorian from Ivory Coast.
Okay, we need to
Yeah.
get something clear here. Two questions were posed to me. The first one was dealing with issue of the Ivorian, not the Burkinabe, and the second phase is the Ivorians crossing the border. What I think was the situation there. So the Ivorians are fleeing from the war situation, which is justified under the OAU 1969 Convention relating to the specific status of refugee problem in Africa. The Burkinabes are economic migrants seeking greener pasture. All right. My advocacy since 2014 and 15, from 13, 14, 15 is if you want to come to Liberia, you are not prohibited from coming to Liberia, but come through the proper channel, come through the border. We advocated that up to 2015. And then we came up with this resolution like JCCEM, Joint Chief and Elder Council meeting between Cote d'Ivoire and Liberia. So I wanted the conventions in Jiglo. I made representation with the people that this is a recurring situation. Articles agree, and they deploy security at the border. The situation subsided. Later on, by 2016, again, or 17, 18,
Hold on one second.
our own people started farming along that border because they claimed those produce that were planted during the period of confusion, and those guys who planted have migrated. They went back to their farmlands and said, well, now that the farmlands are here, let's see how we can start working. And then they started bringing different group of people to work with them to maintain the farm because local labor acquisition was a difficult situation to come by. To this day, we have that situation. So now we have been crying. If you bring in your workers, let them pass through the border so they are documented. And this started to happen.
Honorable.
Yeah.
My question is, since 2013, 14, those that were coming in the country in Bazan district, were they Burkinabe or are they Ivorian? I want for you to establish that first.
They're mixed group of people.
Okay.
Burkinabe,
So those are
Ivorians. And this is proving by documentation seized from them. And then while we are understanding that forests were being traded by Ivorians who were claiming that their parents lived on our land before. So they were the ones bringing them now as workers. So gradually, the Burkina Faso or Burkinabes who have money decided to also come and acquire land to cultivate. That's how they started mingling, and then they started coming in big number because they have labor. That's why you found that most of those who were coming were laborers.
So you say that when they came from Burkina Faso, they passed through Ivory Coast. So did that document show
Ivory Coast?
So that document show that
document from Ivory Coast, let's say.
No, my question, they are Burkinabe that came from Burkina Faso into Ivory Coast. So they had to get a laissez-passer with a stem
from Ivory
foreign immigration before they enter Liberia.
Yes.
Is that how the document shows?
Some of the documentation will be seen that why it is.
Okay, hold on one second, guys. Let me just go to the line here for a question. Okay, so let's just make it brave and short. On the line is Mr. Steve Quet from Pennsylvania. Steve, are you there? Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. I didn't put the number through. Hold on, please. Just bear with me. Are you there? Okay, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. So Honorable Friend, and your audience. It's very important that we can discuss the issue, about very short time. The issue also affecting me because I'm from Babi district and we have similar situation there. But there's a conflict here. We are talking about equitable free movement. It's different from ownership, land ownership. Ghana right now and say I want to get a farmland. So when we are talking about, we know the history of the Burkinabe and the Ivorian, not for our own land for little or nothing. To the point that people now you are getting the land. I'm poor, we got 1 million land over there, they call land. most of our nieces that have no document, they went and traded the land for the people. And honorable, that is the thrust of this thing. It's not about free movement. We nobody against free movement, but it does not mean that when you want to get there, you acquire land for people who don't even own land, FPS, security, barrier, and security. And so we are addressing as such. And I want to thank you for your effort. But that is the concern. The Burkina Faso, for a lot of them, they will come to you and say they are farmers, like Mr. George just said. They are not marginalized farmers. They are sustainable farmers. What money do they have? After I said they will come happy to be liberal. But then the bank, they give you money to acquire land. And these are land for the community. And that is our concern.
Okay.
And I need to make this correction quickly.
So I respond. 346 number 3746. Call, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is Keselly, and I'm calling you from Texas.
Okay, Kezo, welcome. Go ahead. What's your question or concern?
Before I ask my question to the honorable, the minister of all said, sorry to Professor Howard. The last time I called this show, I was kind of a hard on me.
What a good citizen.
But I think that was a kind of a hard question. I want to use this something. I'm very sorry for my harshness anyway.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. I would say that I want to ask the honorable. You said that most of the people working on your farm are people that you took from Monrovia and other areas, and your own grandchildren, your children working there are not going to work. Is there any reason why they are not going to work? And have you tried asking them, and is there any way that you can kind of motivate them to make them to work? Because remember that our youth, our children are the ones we need to be promoted. Why they say that we don't mind bringing other people on board. I think our children should be given first preference. That's how it is. Every part of the world you go. People will not give their children or give their food to the person. Their children have to eat first in the house. Even if they don't want to eat, they pretend to be someone for somebody have to encourage them. You don't know why they don't want to eat. So if you had a job for them, is there any way you can persuade them or have you tried persuading them and it's not working? Because remember now, down to vote, there are people you don't run to. That when they run to all people way down there, they come and vote for them. So have you tried to look for the thing it's not working? Thank you.
All right, let me go back to the honorable. Thank you, guys. Anything you can call back. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, I am. Okay, thank you. Let me just quickly speak to the last speaker. Why it is true our young people are not interested in work, I'm not honorating them, but they've not expressed interest. I have said it, school time, after school, come and do your little vacation job. Those who came from Zwedu Multilateral School from Zwedu City, when they got through, I paid them a little package. At least they got something compared to other students that went to other places for a vacation job. The place is open for work. I'm not stopping anybody. I need them to work anytime. It's their willingness to show up. Okay? And this has been a perennial problem. Our young people, if they were really working, Burkina Faso would not be coming right now to take over the land that is so fertile. We have deposited on wealth, and yet they're still begging for arms. Okay? So that cautiousness should be there. My friend, I've invested so much in there. The first time I started also about people, later on, everybody said, we have to go this one, we have to go to our own farms and other things. I can't stop people from going to the farm. Now we're studying, it's my investment that I put a lot of money in. I should be cautious about it. I should bring people who can persistently be present there. That is something that I'm not going to compromise. If they come anytime, they are free to work. But as long as I need permanent workers on the farm, those who are available, I will have to recruit them.
Okay.
And yeah, there was the first speaker. I can't really remember what he was saying again because you're very low, and I was training myself to understand what he was saying. So I didn't really capture much for him. So I'm sorry if you can do it through text message and on the screen. I can better answer it for him. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot going on here, Steve. If you can tweet your line, that I know there were a lot of things here. But I will also be going to the line, guys. For those of you who, or if you have questions to ask, don't hesitate. to ask. I will also be going here to randomly to ask question here. And I think I said this. Probably I will have to encourage Honorable Green, which of course I don't think you're going to have a problem with it, even if once a month, considering his time. For us to have sort of a town hall style, not just only him, to some of the all lawmakers, and it shouldn't even be Grandview, all of them. I think it will also be better for them in that it will, kind of put to rest most of the things that are happening back here. Let me see here. Okay, let me see this yet. This is coming from Tamaki Manu. He's one of our on here to always support the work of the Liberia Public Radio. And then, like I said, I'm going to be going out there to pick up question. Why the ECOWAS people movement only focus on people from Ivory Coast? We all know is stable. So I believe what you try to say, why this focus is only on ECOWAS. People from Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast is stable. And then answer.
Well, I think why Ivory Coast, because Ivory Coast is our immediate border point, and south of our country is the Atlantic. So you don't find people just coming through the Atlantic because you don't have the equipment to move. But Ivory Coast is our land border. Somehow you don't even need to cross any river, and you are in Liberia. And those are the situation that we are often having, and that's why we are speaking about it. Because Ghanaians are here, yes. No one is speaking much about why Ghanaians, okay. No one is speaking much about why or Nigerians, but they are getting concerned because people are easily crossing over. We are next door neighbors.
Okay, I know we discussed this in the past, but there are other Nigerians here also anxious, and they really want to know. So this is Chai Boss here. Say, good morning, sir. I believe that Ranger that county do receive county development fund from the developments of the county, but we are not seeing anything happening in the county at all. So let he please tell us here how they do it or what they do with it. So I'm just going to read. I'm going to do editing here right now.
I'm ready for the response.
You are actually expressing concern about the county development fund. So when last, first of all, Grandview County ever to go to county development fund? You remember?
Okay, our last county sitting was in February. I'm the chairman. I can convene the county sitting, so I know exactly when. So if he not seeing anything amiss, he's not looking at all. Because Grandview County never had anything called community college. But today we have a campus where we are urging to start offering bachelor degree. So if he's not seeing anything amiss, he's not even looking at Grandview that way. We have this county development fund that has so much help us. We have a nursing school now that is nationally accredited. On our same campus, when we came to office in 2012, we were using portion of Zodi Modern School for lesson. But today, the community college has its own campus. Now we are in arrangement to start offering bachelor degrees to mitigate or minimize the rural-urban migration of our young people. Say in Grandview, get your education. State-of-the-art education we are pushing. Now we succeeded in getting arrangement at University of Liberia. If you complete your first, AA associate degree, you have straight entrance to the University of Liberia without entrance requirement. Okay, yet you don't see it. But when you don't see these things, you have to look closely. Don't prevent yourself from looking. Open your eyes, look further, ask questions. When we are in a kind of it's cool you are asking this question for clarity, and I'm happy that I'm also explaining to you. I know next time you're not going to pose this question again. So it is through this county development allocation that we are able, not only county, but county and social development allocations, that we are able to achieve some of these things. Since Grandview was started, we have not had anything called community college. And that's why I told people the other day, I thank God that Honorable Penny was earlier elected to see that we had this bill. We have presidency for 10 years. We couldn't get associate degree running program. But thankfully, honor our leadership, honor our administration. We have this today, and Granadians should be proud to say, young people, yeah, thank you. Void of politics, because sometimes we need to draw that thin line between development and politics. If you are not able to draw that line, you'll never see good in your leaders. But we are there. We have honest heart for our people. That's why you see us working assiduously, and we
Okay.
will continue to be re-elected. When I tell you I'm going to the Senate, you are questioning me, but these are some of the achievements that we have
Okay.
that are pushing us.
I think this was the substance, before I come to you, Joy, this is the substance of the question the previous caller you were asking to Mr. Steve Quay here. And this,
Okay.
he said, please ask the Honorable what are the community of African states he is referring to. Free movement, does it refer to land ownership? That was the basis.
Thank you. Yes, I got that point and I didn't recall it. Land ownership in the first place in Liberia right now, we have 4 categories of land. And land by our law, no foreigner can own land. In fact, the fact that you are a Liberian, you own land in Liberia, and you denounce your Liberian citizenship, you took on American citizenship, your land in Liberia automatically goes away from you. So there is no way foreigner can own land in Liberia. I know it's a big point I made. I see people smiling. And it's also a question.
You will throw me people, I will.
My friend, you deny your citizenship, so you don't own property here. So if you Liberian, by declaration of your citizenship for another country can lose your land, what's about somebody who is not originally a Liberian? So they are not coming to own land. Most of them are working with our locals and into different contractual arrangements. But the good thing about it, before they come, let them come properly. Come through the border, get all your documentations, and then you can work with our people here.
Yeah, Mr. President, go ahead.
Mr. So. Mr. So, can I ask the representative a question, please?
Yeah,
Go ahead. That's why I'm here.
Again, you are a representative for the Boston district.
Yeah.
And can you just tell me or tell the audience here tonight, what are some of the key things that you think that you can put your finger on now, since you've been a representative that you have done within Boston district?
In Boston, it says here I was able to build 2 big modern markets, and I built several town halls. I built a modern market in Batterjam. I built a modern market building in Zletown. I built another one in Town. Besides that, to restore people. And so I launched this operation called Operation Re-Roof Boston District, Electoral District 3. Distributed over 1,160 bundles of zinc to people who were living in thatched houses in the 21st century. Okay?
How did people were selected?
They were selected randomly because we didn't want to discriminate. And we have our agents on the field. We provided for people based on need. You know, my background as a humanitarian, I worked for many years with United Nations, and we have our own schools to get titles. We did community entries. We are able to identify people with serious vulnerability. Such people like people who lost their husbands in war and are still living in thatched houses. We re-roof their buildings, their structures. We work with the communities. Look, we gave the people zinc. Please help them. Let's work. We did a lot of these things. And today, a lot of our people in the district are living on a corrugated iron sheet. Right now, I'm working towards obtaining another 1,000 bundles of zinc to spread over the county. Our people have to improve with time. So we're working on that. Community hall, shares distribution, all those things are things that we've achieved, and we're still going to do more. Then we have a lot of students on scholarship at the community college. I was one of the biggest sponsors. At a point, I had 60 students on my educational assistance. Okay, but as the situation depreciates, this number fluctuates as well.
Yeah, but that is you. The scholarship, that is you. I'm talking about let's assume that you're not there.
I don't call it scholarship. I don't call it scholarship. I call it education assistance, because if it's scholarship, it must have academic requirements.
Right, but the education assistance, that is why you giving. I'm asking as a representative, what is in the package that even if you are not there tomorrow, the people will benefit. They will be benefiting from it in there.
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing, what extra that we do is a requirement that is unconstitutional. It's just a social, we call it our own social corporate responsibility to our people. But it is the duty of those in executive. So when we put money into the budget, the executive is supposed to execute it. Like now we work with our president. No young person pays YF fees now in Liberia, especially in the grade schools. Even at the tertiary level, 20% of our tuition are paid by the government. Okay? It is true, our working, because if we didn't approve it, if we didn't legitimize the president's decision, it will not be something that is recurring. So when that public policy decision was taken by His Excellency, we had to legitimize it by making it a legislation. So that is one of some of our achievements under this regime. But I don't like to call it regime, under this administration.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let me go to the line here. There's a question here, and then we get this question at 215 number 1598. I believe Mr. Gay, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Gay, welcome. What's your question?
Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure. I've been, wanting to have an opportunity to ask for a direct representation from my county, and I'm grateful tonight to have Honorable Grant on the call. Honorable Grant, I have some concern, and I know some people have touched on it, but I want you to, I'm a data person, so I like to know numbers. The Burkina Faso that have a course on our land in Liberia. What's the number? How many of them in Grand Jude County? And what are the things that you guys are doing want to resolve this issue? Number two thing there, I want to speak on the national issue as well, is that I heard people, you and other people trying to take credit about, the free tuition and all the different things. That's fine. But as a lawmaker, you must have your own agenda. What is your agenda going forward? That Grand Judean will benefit from, and Liberian allies will benefit from as a lawmaker. What is the number one thing that we can say this thing can be accredited to Representative Grant?
The Grand Judean Community College. Sadly, let me come in. I just answered that question out of interest and respect for you. But all these questions you are asking are questions that I've already answered. But you are just coming in. So, for your sake, I'll reiterate. I told you I had surplus projects in the district. The president have just asked that question. Okay, you award project based on need and interest of the people who you are serving. Okay, and again, if I want to be a little bit critical and technical, it is not the role of the representative constitutionally to undertake these projects. Get to know that and know it for facts. That's why I say doing these things, we are only creating our own corporate social responsibility as a gift back to our people. But constitutionally, it is not my role. So asking me, I must have my own agenda. Maybe you are creating an addendum to the Liberian Constitution, but we do these things as a gift away to our people. So constitutionally, I'm not required to do that.
Okay, let me go to the second person here on the line, and then I will come back to the guys of that. Okay, 484 number, are you there? Yeah, what's your name and where you calling from? What's your question? And then I'll go back to my guest. Yeah, can you speak a little bit louder, please? Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I think you are a representative of the Badon district, and Badon consists of the Moor and Poor people, if I'm right. And looking at the health capacity, because of the viral capacity, because of the viral capacity, the lawmaker, what are you doing for the people of Moor and Poor people?
Okay, thank you. I gotta get there goes, and I'll go back back to them. Okay. Honorable, are you there?
I'm here listening with interest.
Yes. The questions. The last person I know you
What
answered.
I'm doing for the people of I don't know when last you been in Liberia. That's one other thing I need to also ask for clarity. Then I know what precisely to answer him, because if you're somebody who been here recently, will definitely understand and know some of the things we're doing. But if he's not being here, asking a question, maybe it's just for the sake of the show. When last were you in Liberia? Okay, he's not there. But I've been helping the people. I also distributed zinc to the communities you're talking about, because most of the people in honest they live only on wildlife poaching, hunting, and they sometimes will live in isolated communities completely. So what I did, I have when I was going to visit them, I went with 83 bundles of zinc. At least 83 bundles or 20 some more person got zinc that they're so proud of me today. Even if I say I'm going back to the election today, they are ready to vote for me. People who, some of them told me, I've been hunting for 20 years. I'm not able to build roof over myself. I did that in Bo, I did that in Plo. I've entered those places. Sometimes I walk 3, 4, 5 hours to get to them, to know their actual situation. I went as far as Chaytown. We walked from Paniwin all the way to Chaytown. In the Plo area, we got on motorbikes and mobilized and we stopped to the last time in Plo body. That's why sometimes I ask this question in reversal so that you ask for clarity. I'm sure he's from there, he's passionate about the place, but he probably might be disconnected.
All right. Let me go to Mr. Daniel Freeman. He is the president of the PA chapter of the Grain Dealers Association. Mr. Freeman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Saul.
Okay, you can give the honorable man thumbs up. Why? Go ahead. What's your question?
Well, thank you very much for hosting the honorable man. I want to say, Honorable Grant, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Daniel.
My first time actually hearing him speak. And for his deliberation, I'm very pleased that Grand County, I think, has one representative that will speak for them. The election is over. I do not support your man, Zoe panel.
Your voice is fading.
What?
Okay, go ahead. We're hearing you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to congratulate Honorable Peno for his victory. Even
Thank you.
I support him.
No problem. We accept it that way.
Election is over. We are here to support him in the process of governance. And Mr. Grant,
yeah,
there are a lot of things we have heard about you.
Okay.
When people they can carry your bad name and your good name.
Yeah.
And tonight you really shocked me with all those things you were listing that you have done.
Yeah.
I'm very, very impressed. One
Thank
thing
you.
I give you credit for, you see, our people need a lot of education, especially when it comes to what their rights are, what their entitlement, what they can do, especially when it comes to what they can own and all of that. And I learned that you have. Thank you very much. You guys, you always have those things. Maybe after a year, you go back there and teach about people. Thank you for what you are doing.
Thank you.
Last thing, I don't want you. I know you are Okorum. You're a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Would not be discouraged of all the negative things that come your way. I think it's strengthening you.
Sure.
So thank you. The widow of work project that you carry on.
Yeah.
If you have that project, you should sometimes ask for solicit help and some of us will help. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And you know, one thing I always tell people is that the tree that bears edible fruits, rich fruits, will always receive a higher number of stones. Because sometimes if we are performing, people think that our performance will prevent them from having this kind of opportunity. But it is better that I perform, and when I'm leaving, I give you the opportunity, like I'm doing now. I'm leaving a seat of representative for other young people to come, and then they will have people to emulate. The good example to follow. Say, look, when Bogren was there, he did this, he did that. I think I should do something either equal to what he did or maybe to do more than he did. So that kind of political competitive spirit is not the envious one that want to always see people down.
All right.
But thank you for that acknowledgement, Daniel. I'm grateful. We'll continue to work hard. And like you said, our hands, I mean, we are stretching our hands to people to help us to help our people. And it's a good thing. We'll keep relating with you guys. I will ask Mr. So to please share my number with you so that we'll get into contact personally. Then you'll know me more.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Mr. So, hold on one second. Let me ask the representative a question. Honorable, how often do you visit your district?
I'm just from there. I had training there.
For election? You went down there
Not
for election?
After election, I came to Moray and went back.
Okay.
That's my place. And you should know that I have farm there. I will always be there. Say where your treasury is, there your mind shall be.
Okay, if you go back there, to your district, where people meet you, if they want to see the representative,
meet me important or later. Why? Because it's a central location for the district I represent.
Okay.
All right. Just how we hold our national leaders accountable, just how we ask them tough questions, is a need that we educate people to, because this is dangerous for the country. If you have people who follow things and they don't understand, instead of them asking questions, they don't ask the question, then we have to educate them too, because we will know these people that might be represented, they might be senator tomorrow. Mr. Asher Shea, you ask a question that is inconclusive. You ask a question that it's not even a question. You're drawing the conclusion. Is this a crime forum? No. But let me just give you a little bit hand up here. If you don't know, ask a question. Or if you join the forum, perhaps settle in a little bit and get an idea where people are going. My goodness, this is why we have the problem we're having in Liberia. I'm not sure. Probably that's your first time coming on LPR. We wholeheartedly welcome that.
Is he a Liberian?
I don't know. We're LPR here. We serve a diversity of people here, so that is okay. A guy who wants to come on from the Haiti and all of that here, that's okay. But people should ask questions, and if you don't know, just listen, and then hopefully you can get a sense of where we're going. But anyway, that's a question. You have the right, but I'm just telling you no, and maybe you can rephrase your question, and I will ask you, which sort of platform is it? But why on the crown? You have almost how many tribes in the country? So why make you
maybe he's not a Liberian, and the only Liberian or Liberia he knows is crown. So you can't hold him. Please let him off the whole.
Okay, we go to Mr. DJ Kampa. He's the president of the Port Development Association. Mr. Kampa, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Zenko, I'm here.
Okay, it's good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, Honorable Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Kampa.
Go ahead, hearing you.
Okay. I say many thanks, and I appreciate your commitment by coming back to LPR. And I have been following you. And you made mention about agriculture.
Yeah.
So agriculture is very important on our land, Liberia. But my question here is, as a representative of Grand Gita County, what is a general plan that you have for the road leading to Grand Gita? Because you're talking about agriculture, and our people there, they have crops and other military to be exported to like Monrovia. So where's a general you people have for the role leading to Grand Gide as a representative of Grand Gide County?
Thank you so much.
Honorable, let me go to this other number here, 503-9777. Are you there, caller? What's your name and where you calling from?
Okay, this is Mikey S. Manu.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say welcome back because really campaign season, you are over the radio here talking to people, and you're happy back to come to all the games. Now, that's a different question for you. Please be patient with me. I don't know. Yeah. I'll make it very short, please. Just be patient with me. If you don't understand me, ask me. Because sometimes you don't understand people. I accept the effort people move to the West Africa. I really accept that. And so, but I just want to know, besides right here, how many other countries in Liberia are those people separating? That's number one question. And the second question is, Liberia is one with our state. We got Liberia County, we got Grand Gide, we got River, and we got Maryland. So those four countries that are named. Can you tell me the percentage of those people movement? Because they are let's just say, for example, they are the close counties to the border. So can you tell me do you have any knowledge or any percentage of those people, how they move across? What are some people in the United States, something in Liberia, something in Maryland? Can you tell me anything about that? Because when you don't know, we already know.
Okay, and then what the last one?
Okay, the last one is the agriculture. Before, when we were coming off iPhone, when we were over there, the people were gravitating towards irrigated farming, just to help to reserve our forest, because our people were farming here and there, destroying the forest. So the second time in Liberia, people are focusing on farm farming, where they don't have to plant any forest, they don't have to cut down the trees. They were just taking it. They were just. I'm not sure. I was part of it. I think my income will back here. So are you guys heading towards this thing, or we just want to destroy the forest that we God with our coming back to this shit because of the long time nobody came anything to it? Are you guys trying to reserve it and just really start doing the same old thing and start destroying the forest again?
Is the last question before I switch to him? Are you saying whether they are trying to reserve the forest?
What I'm asking is, when we were there, a little kid, but we all know that people were gravitating towards farm farming. That means that the rotational farming they used to do in the forest, they found where they get, they found where the other year, destroy the land or the forest. So it was very matter. Just people focus on one piece of land in the front. They just make that farm over and over and over. So they don't have to destroy the forest. So if there's anything in place as a target to save the forest, or people going about just running the bushes, cutting down the trees, and doing anything they want to do. Is there anything that's in place for that?
All right, save the forest. I'm gonna be switching to hint. Basically, the question is driven in the directions of global warming and all of those kind of stuff now. Okay, so thank you guys. Let me go back to hint, and you will answer the question. Okay, Ty, are you there?
Yes, fine. Thank you. I'm here. Let me start with his. I want to just give one kind of anecdote that is so common with our people. You see, a mom and mother children, I let myself the best. Oh my God, is feel I don't care for the others. Because he has successfully migrated to a better part of the world. People that are here, they should reserve the forest for him. Sad. You talking about we're gravitating to the swamp farming. Were we gravitating to swamp farming with cocoa production? Were we gravitating to swamp farming with coffee production? Were we gravitating to swamp farming with pepper and bitter ball production? Because sometimes if you're making this point, you should ask why, how. This question should come to you. But anyway, we are not destroying the forest. We are trying to improve our livelihood as well. Even the United States living today was one-time forest. It was because people interaction with it that what it become now. You're talking about forest reservation. We have national park. We got 4, 5 different parks in Grand Nigeria alone, and we cannot deprive our people to achieve and work for their own livelihood. That is it. On the question of how many other countries are settling with this thing, if we follow this conversation, it's not just about coming in and getting on a phone to call because you want to call. There was somebody from Nima country just now call from Babli district that said they are also facing similar problem. Babli district is not Grand Nigeria County. Okay, so when we keep in conversation, sometimes jumping in the middle, it's like you have to be careful. When you go to church late, don't raise chorus because the people may have sung their song. That's the situation. So it's not only in Grand Nigeria, it's happening, and not only in Boston district as well. It's in Kunabo district, it's in River G, it's in Grand or Maryland. But these people are not shouting about their own because they are forming relationship to build their plantations that way. You know, in Maryland, most of the bushes there are now occupied by rubber production. The companies that are in Maryland are a foreign company. Well, the one that came with MOPP, that are foreign company. Maybe send they brought yellow machines, you appreciate them more than people who want to use their manual labor. Anyway, that's one side of it, but they are in the counties, mostly along the border. Then Dijari asked about our plan for the national highway. For the national highway, dealing with road situation in Liberia, those are horizontal infrastructure. We have passed a law that we have road maintenance funds that is generating a $30 million per annum. It just came into place under this administration. And this road fund is beginning to take pace. Just recently, President Weah broke ground in Ganta for a stretch of road between Ganta and Sekrepe as a result of our own money.
Yeah. Okay.
From our taxpayer, and then the resources we allocated through the road funds. Then the stretch from Sekrepe to Tapeta is taken over by World Bank. We are looking for sources of funding to take from Tapeta to avoid border in total and onward to Zedru. So there is plan. If we were not in government, you say, or if you want us to do it individually, it'd be difficult because we do not have that capacity. It's a national infrastructure development program that we are dealing with under the public sector investment program. So on the issue of the road to Grand Nigeria to the southeast, that is the part we are doing now. Gradually, we'll get there. But with the stretch of road from Ganta to Sekrepe, it's our own money, no low business inside that one. We're trying to do it to improve the livelihood of our people. We ourselves, we face a blunt of it. We are almost on our road every time. And whenever we got our new car, it doesn't even spend more long time with us. You have to use it on the road because that's your place of origin. You cannot, he cannot abolish that. And those are your employers. You also have to go and always relate with them.
All right, thank you. That's the last caller here for the day, and then I'll go back to Mangazi. Caller, go ahead. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Son Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling from North Dakota.
All right, go ahead, Jerry.
Let me say thank you and welcome to our representative, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Jerry.
For some time. But I have a question. My question comes because I see my two officials on the same platform right there. The Bajan District Organization in America, President and our representative. I want to know from our representative order, is in good relationship with the Senator Marshall Dennis. And second question is,
what I'm in good relationship with Senator Dennis?
organization, I mean,
Before you can bring trouble.
He is Grant is aware of what Mr. Dennis is doing in Boston District, more especially in school building in county. And if he has ever visited
Mr. So, can you tell the man to speak louder so I'm not getting him?
I'm going to be going back to you. All right, Honorable.
Yeah.
That's the last question for the day, and then I'm going to go to my guys before we can keep you. I know you're going to chambers tomorrow. Hopefully, so we can do this.
We are still on break. Don't worry.
Oh, you're on break. Oh, okay.
If you need another hour, I can allow you. Don't worry. I'm telling my people.
I hope all lawmakers from all of the counties they can make themselves available here. Okay, I think Mr. Jerry's I saw where he was. You heard a question. I guess you are taking down.
I heard the question. Okay. For the school in Jaudi, where the president can speak to that. I visited the school. I saw it. It's only that most recently I have not gone there, but I understood when I was Jerry Sappy in total and this on Tuesday. He indicated that he was to visit Jaudi to see the situation there because they were painting. I'm always asking about it. But for the short visit that I have,
you and Jerry Sappy there, right?
Yes, that's Jerry Sappy.
Are you surprised?
Mr. President Secretary. So,
are you surprised I get a picture?
I'm not surprised.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. I'm not surprised because I know what I did. So I mean the school building there is progressing, and I'm supposed to go back to the county the county for the New Year celebration. I'm definitely going to pay another visit because I like to see these things. When I'm speaking, I speak with confidence and I speak from the factual position. Coming to the issue whether I am in good relationship with Senator Dennis, yes, I'm in good relationship with him, but he's not in good relationship with me because he feels threatened by my desire to ascend to the Senate. Of course, I'm going to retire the bill very early. So he may not be happy that I'm going to retire him, but I'm in good relationship with him.
The politician and that is so. Let me dwell on the questions. I come, Mr. Dennis. Let me dwell on the questions of Dennis and other few people express here. I heard you talking about the initiative, which of course is a good thing. Make a humanitarian intervention. The social development funds. We are hearing there's been some allocations of lawmaker. Is that provision something that is provided by the government? Is it embedded into the development agenda? Is the government of Liberia giving the lawmakers to carry on projects or carry on some sort of community development, for example? Is there any allocation, any budgetary allocation?
Okay, thank you so far. That particular project is my innovative approach to community development. In 2012, when we came, there was no such legislative support project. That idea came from me. And then the speaker early started bought it. We were targeting $1 million per district. We have development funds around 500 million. We have 73 political districts. But sometimes when a budget comes and passes, some part of the country, some districts are not touched at all. And when I came, I decided to visit.
How?
Prior before we came to office. And when I came as an opposition politician. One of the ways to achieve the success as a lawmaker, I introduced this idea of each electoral district should receive $1 million through budgetary support. And this funding should be used by the executive to work in my district with projects that we identify. 2012, we didn't achieve it. 2013, it was difficult, but at least the president approved that we should have that money. But it was too early to release $1 million to a particular electoral district. So we negotiated and settled around 36 million, which is half of the 73 million that we're asking for. Now, when we started working with it, Ebola set in. So the president said, okay, then because of Ebola, let's see if we can work around 18 million. We tried, it didn't succeed, so we came down to $5 million spread over the 73 districts. It started as $100,000 per district, but then it was to be divided between the senators and the representatives. Because the senators' idea was, we represent the county, you represent district. Since this money comes, we have to share in this, so we'll be able to undertake projects in our districts. So the first year was like senator on each, like with 3 representatives on each of our county stuff. Each senator will take like 30,000. So when the 2 senators took 60,000, you're left with 40,000 to identify projects to be executed in your district. All right. Later on, other bigger countries said, no, if you're doing that, we got 2 senators in Neighbor County, and 2 of them, some of them, they also either on one side or against the other representative. It became another, at the end of the day, we say, okay, we'll do it per capita, spread it across the board. So it came down to 60,000 per electoral district to be executed by the LISTs, Liberia Community Empowerment Projects. Yeah. Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment LIST. And so they implemented identified projects in our districts. At least it's for rapid development nationwide. In a year, in each budget year, minimum you have like 73 projects in every part of Liberia, apart from a national development project. However, with no funding now, we've not been able to execute it for the past 3 years because the budget situation, economic situation is not too healthy. But we have some money in the budget for the past 3 years that are not being executed because we are also suffering for, to us, donor fatigue, and revenue generation is very low for now because of this sickness that we are, corona stuff that we are experiencing here again. So for the past 3 years, we've not been able to execute legislative support project. But yes, we put it in the budget because if you are in opposition and they don't enjoy a working relationship, it's possible that the government marginalize your district or your region. And for me, I personally talked about it because our political figure is small, so we don't want to be marginalized. That's how we try to put it in the budget and say, oh, but they don't have much number, and we are politicians, always going after the numbers. That's why we put that in the budget. It's picking pace. It's not fully being implemented, but it's there. Gradually, we will get there.
Okay, let me go to my guys, contributors. Gentlemen, we are almost running out of time here. Is there anything perhaps the representative left out and you want to get a punch out there for the benefit of our people? Pa Josh, how are you?
No, the honorable says something, but I just want to make some clarification. Then I got a question.
Okay.
Something. I am not against migration.
Good.
But what I support is anything that coming into Liberia.
Yeah.
Our people must be given the first preference.
Sure.
And this migration, our people have their own culture. We have to make sure that the culture are preserved and protected.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when these people come, initially they are very kind. But when they settle, many times you find out they become torn in the flesh of the people. So that is why when I hear migration, I am very, very curious to know why, the conditions, and how they're going to be migrating into these various areas. Because that is very important. Today they come in, they will come as the honest people. But by way of means, live there, get married, you look, they say, oh, I acquired this land. The people give it to me. My son was born here. You cannot say they cannot do this. We know these things. If some people don't know, I know it. We experience it. So that is my concern about these people coming into Liberia. That the migration, yes, I am for it, but there should be strict restriction because Liberia, we know that the laws on the book are not enforced in many instances. Many of the laws are not enforced.
Joy.
Yeah.
You wanted to make babies?
Well, you know they're making babies already. So
okay, listen.
but before I leave now, yeah, let me just say something. I know. I heard one of your songs from Grand Gita. He got a very big mouth, and he said something the last time. Maybe he listening. He said something, which in person of Mr. Samson told. He said that we were talking about people contributing to Liberia, and he said that he personally had reached out to you people about the road construction in Grand Gita. I mean, yeah, going to Grand Gita because he said he wanted to be part of that project to make sure the road going to Grand Gita, whatever, is properly built. And as I remember from him saying that, he talked to you and you said you are going to get back to him. You have not done so. So I want you to use this platform to clarify on why you did not reach to Mr. Samson to as engineer from that country and a son of Grand Gita living here, and I asked that he can give his services, his advice free to make sure if there's road in Grand Gita, it should be built up to standard. And he made an allegation that you have not reached up to him. So I want to know from you, did he ever contact you? And if so, why you are not getting back to Mr. Tool?
Mr. Tool is the son of Liberia, right?
He's a son of Liberia and he's son of Grand
Very
Gita.
well.
And he made that comment. That's why I'm asking you.
Okay, just to let you know, I made several attempts to get to him. He's unreachable. Even yesterday, I was conversing with Mr. So, and I mentioned Mr. Tool. Besides that, this is about our country. If I didn't reach you and I'm falling short of reaching you, take your number, call me. I'm available on WhatsApp. I'm available, not just available, I'm available and accessible. I answer all numbers. I don't care about strange number. Okay? So if he thinks I'm not trying calling him, I think he too and I made effort to call me because he know we are serious issues. And since he have that kind of unbroken interest, I thought you are going one step beyond. Honorable, but I told you this, why are you not reaching out to me? But in earnest, I have made several efforts to get to him. I'm not getting to him. Not only for the road project, but I'm trying to approach him as the senior brother that I can tap from his wisdom. I'm not being able to get him. If I hide a number, a high number I've been calling it, it's not going. I'm being honest, very honest with you. Then coming to the issue of migration, remind me of the Native and Indigenous Americans crying for their land. You also remind me of migrants depriving Donald Trump of his re-election. I know this is in fear you have. Because the typical Americans still wanted Donald Trump, but the migrant population depriving of his re-election. So I understand the situation you're talking about, but it's something it's something right we just have to work with. The war is becoming a global village. And let me be quick to tell you, some of our daughters are already pregnant for the Burkina Bees.
That one, I know that one. That's why I said.
Some are giving birth. So it's a serious situation, but I think we should have open arms, open mind, because development is not one-sided. It doesn't just come from one group of people. Migration interspices development. So let's open our arms, just like you have undocumented migrant in America and people running behind them to not one cent by the government. Some of their families say to some of our family, by you got to leave office. Those are things that are happening, and I mean, with time we'll get over it. Okay, we are careful. We are pushing the legality. Let them try to legitimize that stay in Liberia, but you should know when people live together for long. Talk of ECOMOG. When ECOMOG was here to keep peace, they made a lot of children that are still here today, that are fatherless, but some are groomed into adulthood, privileged to go to school, maybe support from parents and others. They are part of our society today. You go to Grand Gita and you find some Ethiopians and Chinese babies, peacekeepers.
You're kidding me.
Bangladesh.
Hey, all right.
Wherever you have human interaction, you see these things will happen. You go to Bonkani, you see Bangladeshis, babies. Okay, so it's something. It's natural.
Yeah, they play with national. Yeah,
Mr. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. President. If I go to Professor Zaulos before.
Yeah, there's some concern I want to bring to the honorable. I don't know whether you have an idea or maybe you already address it, but not on this forum tonight.
Okay, don't panic. Yeah.
In Bison District, they're having this Sasewu something going on and they are carrying people to Zwedru. People are taking these medicine, and what is going on? Can you throw a little light if you have an idea to it? What's going on?
I speak against it, but I'm also tactful not to get too much involved. So I can be blended. I want a witchcraft defending the other witchcraft. So the best thing is that's a local government issue. Let the local government will take care of that. Okay, but I keep speaking against it because for the background of this traditional for the background of the traditional harmful practices, we speak against it, but taxing it. I know, but the local government is dealing with that issue. Those appointed officials.
It's still ongoing.
Because yes, it's still ongoing. It is not lawful to trust somebody to say it's such a rule that will determine whether you are a witch or not a witch. But you know, those are things that are being transmitted by our culture. So we are tactful to dealing with it because it's something that we inherited from our ancestors. We have to tacitly deal with it because it has its own implications. But the local government is in charge of that.
All right. So as a representative, you say you don't want to get involved too much before they say you're trying to protect witchcraft.
Yeah.
But is there any consequence that if I'm a witchcraft, if I take the Sasewu and I'm accused, what they going to do with me? Do you know? Or if I'm not accused, if I get out, what they going to do?
The thing about it, tree itself is personal. And so we discourage people from taking it. But sometimes when you realize somebody some money, you go low, they are drinking it. Then you have to call the local authority to come and catch him, maybe taking from that, performing that ritual.
Wow.
And taking to So it's a complicated thing. But we are dealing with it.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that if the person take it and then they vomit it, let me say they put it that way, they vomit it. What the person what's the next thing to do? Or if they are accused and then finalized when they take the medicine, what would be the consequence? What the local government is saying about it?
You go to the local government and you pay fine for taking for doing trial by ordeal. You pay fines, you pay charges, to the local government. Even though they don't send it to the central court, it's something that they look and the township or the central superintendent uses that other money to say you facilitate the investigation. It's something big brother.
It's just dangerous. It destroys.
It's dangerous. It destroys. And then the worst thing about it, the aging people, the old people themselves will go to that tree failing to know their health conditions. They're already weakened by nature, and they still rush to it. Young men, you take that. Once you still have strong resistance, you pure it. Whether you get weak, you get weak.
You know what? Honorable, I will have to please. I'll have to get please do me a favor. I know whatever number I have been calling the Minister of Internal Affairs. I think we need to talk to all there. That's his honorable.
For real, that's true.
Okay, I'll find his number tomorrow. And Superintendent Kaifale is also in Moravia now. Maybe he could.
I think I get Kaifale number. I gotta bring. This is Professor Zaulo. Professor?
I'm here.
You're smiling, you're laughing.
Because it's when you talk about the starting rule, it's interesting. As being an educator and a person who owns two educational establishments in Liberia, one of the things I do interviews of my teachers, the science teachers especially. I ask them that question explicitly. Do you believe in witchcraft? When you answer that question in the affirmative, you're looking for another job. I don't take you in. You know, if you read sociology, if you read a sociology book, you do a study of sociology, it tells you one of the greatest damage being done to African societies or third world societies is our belief in myth and sorceries and all of those things. So we put science on one side, and then we focus on those kind of things. And those things are very dangerous. You can separate families. You can cause tension between villages and towns. You know, and it has no place. It really has no place. But you know, Representative Grant is a very smart man, and the way he said he handled it is the way we handle it with our traditional leaders. We have to be very careful how we handled it. There was a similar situation in Nimba. I think that was like about 10 years ago. Or there was this guy from the Côte d'Ivoire called Papa. Okay. I was just going around.
Papa. I know Papa. He also visited Grant and broke down a lot of communities.
I don't think that's 10 years, though. It's 10 years.
It's been a while. Yeah,
between 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I know, Papa. With something you put on your shoulder and you see it's coming to you to catch you. I know, Papa.
He was looking around disgracing chiefs and people all over.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's plenty towns, man. It's not.
Yeah. But what was interesting was that Thomas Groupie at the UNICO convention, when he was
former senator.
When he was senator. Yeah, he said there was nothing they could do about it. Nothing they could do about it. And it made me to wonder, you know. But I mean, I really respect. I really like Representative Grant's position on it. We all got to condemn it. But we got to be very, you know, very, 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 very careful how we handle people. But education can change a lot of those things. And so Representative Grant said a lot of things. I'm so proud of the people of Grand Nigeria to have their own community colleges offering associate degree and building the campus. Also, it's a wonderful accomplishment, you know. And you know, I think the Grand Nigeria Association in the USA should be supporting that initiative, seeing how they can expand it, seeing how they can attract.
Sure. Oh, I think his line is frozen. Are you hearing me? Are you there, Professor?
Resources to it, you did it. But when you come to Monrovia, you're not going back most of the time. Yeah. So that brain that should be serving our community is lost. It's just like us in the United States. We should be in Liberia, right?
Sure.
So yeah, we are right here. You know, and our people are not benefiting from us. So thank you very much, Representative Grant.
Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Grant. Again, I really want to thank you so much for always being available. Now, you are the chair of the caucus, right?
Yeah.
Please use your authority as chair of the caucus. I mean, these are grown men, lawmakers. So I'm just only saying as chair.
Yeah.
And we want to spread this out here to all of the other folks from whatever country here. But then we are down to Grand Nigeria. In fact, as a matter of fact, I spoke with Honorable Zoe Pennant this evening as son of the soil too, to congratulate him of it. And I also talk to him. I think Chien District, Quinebo District, and people from Nima, Mount Gibby, River says, I hope that because we can agree, disagree, but this can give us an understanding how government works, some of the things our leaders are doing, whether it is in our favor, if it is against, we have sort of civil conversation, and then we can create a sort of a connection to make recommendation, and not just only to cost people off. You cost people, it doesn't help. You cost a man, when you cost me, I'm not going to give you the attention. I'm not even going to listen to you. Or maybe if I'm closer to you, I'll punch your mouth. Then when no teeth in your mouth, then no longer you're going to cost people. It's crazy. The behavior of people in this sort of society here, and we are unable to create a conducive atmosphere for us to air our grievances. And yet we sit down, we try to make wise of other people's technology. I think that is insane. I want to thank you so much. Hopefully, we can try to do this here and now, you know, routinely. Maybe, I mean, the whole caucus group can come So that way, people from the other end and know exactly how the country runs. When that happens, believe me or not, most of these conspiracy, some of the things that are going on the social media, it will put it to a rest, because when somebody says, no, wait a minute, Honorable Graham was there, Dr. Bole was there, now Senator Zopenin was there, this other person was there. I think they all have to enhance the message. So I count on you for you now. I can put my hair on the chopping board, because anytime as soon as I send that message, I know when you see, oh, they may call it me 9 years, so they call it me again.
Sure.
But it's helpful, and I really appreciate that. What's the final message for us?
As much as possible, we need your support. We need your strategic planning ideas to share with us so that we can help to move our country forward. We will count on you for the growth of our country, and like what you are doing now is something that is very useful. And I continue to tell you, let's continue it. And that's why whenever you call upon me, I make myself available so that we continue to talk. Because if you don't know what we're doing, you cannot say it to people. And this forum that you have provided for us, we will continue to make use of it. We'll continue to work with Boston District in the United States. I want to ask them to step out a little bit more, save more money so that you do more for the district together with us. Because the little chunk we have plus what you have, we can achieve a lot for the good of our people. And I'll always encourage you again, not everything that you hear from people that probably you should trust. Call us. I'm available on phone, on the internet, emails, all those I have. We can continue to talk. It's better to be informed than to spread falsehood, misunderstanding, and the like. So I want to say thank you to the two elders, Prof. Zawolo and my own baby, my church. Yes, thanks to you people for the time. It's my first time seeing you, and I think we have very cordial interaction. I thank you for that. We continue to learn from you what you have, because what the elders see sitting down with the young people, whether we are in the top of the tree, we cannot see it. Your wisdom is what we count on to grow. Thank you, Mr. President of Boston District. Thank you, Mr. Slow. Good night. It's at 2:18 here, and I have to go and sleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable.
Liberal, Pa Joyce.
Yeah.
The program here, Lpr-Tv special / conversation with Samson Toll. The Liberal was invited here. He knew very well what we want to talk out of a purpose. He said it to Joy. He alone will build that whole California. But believe me, we're going to bring him here and slaughter him right here again.
No, Professor, I will come back. Yeah.
President, something to that, but I'm going to break him here and bring him to the slaughterhouse. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Yeah. But your guest there, the Boston president, the gentleman Jerome Paul, did you ever live in Fiamma before?
I spent a couple of time in Fiamma.
Yes. You did live in Fiamma. I know you from Fiamma.
All right.
You know what?
I'll live in Fiamma right after Mr. Ransom. Yeah.
Ransom House. I said I know you in Lambo Den House.
Yes, Papa. Yeah,
in Lambo Den House. Yeah, Lambo House.
Okay. I'm a Moral Rock. So.
Okay.
Your call, man. Here.
Yeah, no, Maria Coleman. So let's say Lambo House. There, I know. Yeah. Okay. How you doing, man?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I always listening to the LPR, but I always listen to you too. So I didn't know that you do somebody like me.
Now you're on your radar. Okay, gentlemen.
Now you're on my radar now.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you, Mr. So, and thank the Dr.
Professor
Dr. for contributing. I know I'm following you guys there every time, and it's a good discussion you always having. I appreciate it. And maybe I will be encouraged to be asking Mr. Stowe to be on his panel sometime.
You're always
discussing this.
We're asking people. It's open. Thank you so much.
Okay, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right, guy.
Yeah.
And of course, to our beautiful viewers and listeners in Radio Land, I want to thank you so much for your time. It takes people of patience, tolerance to listen to this. I think we must hold our national leaders accountable. And I think we have to do everything possible we can, as long as they are willing. So we will spread this across the length and breadth of Liberia to bring our political leaders. Let them answer the question. But we also have to bear in mind that respect is very much paramount, because you bring person here, you insult them, they will not come here. And when they don't come, you don't hear anything. And then you talk, your hair hurt in the evening, you go to CVS or Walgreens, you take IV, you go to bed. Who feels the pain? You feel the pain. Your behavior, your attitude deprive us from getting the information. And that's how Prime Minister Jemima Walker going to be picking you up here this evening. If that's the first time, I always try to follow our page. It's Liberia Public Radio. Liberia Public Radio. You can do that search on YouTube, and you can get us, follow us. Ladies, folks, those of you who wants to be a contributor here, let us know. We'll bring you here. You don't want to pay anything. That's not it. So we're all trying to figure out how to find solutions to the many problems confronting our nation. All right. Taking you to Nima County this late evening here. It's 9:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, that's how we're going to leave it here this for the rest of the evening. So by God's willing, same time, same stations. I will be right back here to your diet to bring you more news, information, and entertainment. What? Let me see here. So Liberia Public Radio is reporting this event. It is 84.26 million to Europe, equivalent to $10.6 million. It's been allotted to the government of Liberia by the European Union, not just only Liberia. Get it clear. It will be divided among four countries: Liberia, the Central African Republic, and Sierra Leone. Yes, Sierra Leone. How are you going to be a portion? Hopefully, we'll get to know the details. But that's yesterday, funds coming from the European Union for Benin, Liberia, Benin, Central African Republic, and Sierra Leone. And Liberia will be a direct beneficiary of this amount, 84.26 euro, equivalent to 10.6 million United States dollars. I will be going in. Hopefully, it will be used wisely. Projects, tangible projects will be earmarked for the good of the country. Until then, Alfonso Zensot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is how I want to conclude this night here. Again, I want to thank you so much to all my viewers, listeners, those with your beautiful tweets, questions, those of you that participated, and even those of you that stay with us to the conclusions of this program. You know exactly what you're taking away. If you're from Sano, you're from Maryland, Grand Crew River says, Grand Kimon, Lofa, send your leaders' numbers here. We call these people sometimes, but you know what? They don't want to come. They are not showing up. And part of that is our behaviors too, because when you will bring them and you started to insult them, Nobody wants to be insulted. Neither I want to be insulted because, no, we are in a modern society. We must conduct ourselves with high sense of tolerance and responsibility. That way we get to know the inner part. I think pretty well the conversation was pretty good tonight. People asked their question. So that is going to encourage him to come here. And as for him, he's always available. I spoke with him, was open on Senator Eli this evening just before coming on air, and I also extended the invitation. We need to ask those people. But there's a saying that says, "Play fool to gain wisdom." It doesn't mean you're going to waive your right, but we must be able to have a conversation for God's sake for 1 hour, 2 hours, without me cussing your mother and without you cussing my mother. Then I will listen to you. Because when we bring these people here, when you call in, when you put your question, then it gives it. That's what journalism is all about. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a commentator. I make news proportional. If I hear it, I have to call you. Even if I was told today, DJ will come kill my mother, I have to ask him. And I'm going to be listening keenly. His language, his tone, his initial response will give me a clue whether he's a facilitator or he was one of those embedded into whatever act that is being committed. But the way we're talking, the way we're keeping the conversations of our country, whether you're for opposition or you're for government, believe me or not, if we do not change the mindset that we have, the way we are talking, the way we are handling issues, if we fail to change that, it doesn't matter who will become president. We will continue to go down this route. Because why? It works for you today. Other people are listening. By the time you get there tomorrow, because it works for you, you did it and it works for you, no one has dominion over anything. Another person will be born or another creation will come to place and they will do it. And it will work for them because you did it, it worked for you. So he or she has the ability to do the same, and people will go in their direction to cheer them. And that's the danger people do not know. Liberian people, most people, you can't keep banana together and say, let's put this banana aside here. We'll give it 2-3 days. It will be good. It will be wrapped. By the time you go look, the man go behind you, you take it and swallow it. They will squeeze it, and it become wrapped by force. That's how it looks like. There are uncertainty in politics. So all of these people, whether they are being elected today, they are going in as new faces behind this building that you are looking at. When these people take seat tomorrow, they are going there for 9 years. We better start having the conversation here. There is nothing guaranteed. If you work in government before, you will know exactly how government works. Government is much deeper than you think you know. Government, I hang with a lot of people, and government is much deeper. These people, I can see them making false and more themselves doing this. When they begin to experience the beauty, the power, and the luxury involved in government, you're going to tell their friend, don't mind those people out there. I don't care what you do, they will talk. And they have special people, trained people who will orientate them. They go through orientation, just how you go for a job, you go through orientation, right, to get a job description. And there are some people that are dangerous for the country, and they are also there. Look, if you come here, if you want to see your way through, you got to slow down. This is a different land. People are human beings. One person can do it, 2 person can do it, 3 person can do it. The only way we will change course in Liberia, the 103 men and women that will occupy this building you see behind me here is another branch of government responsible to hold the executive branch of government, bring them to check and balances. They have their fair share to play. If you have the 103 men there, if you have 60 or 50 of them corrupt, that's a serious problem. If you have 40 or 45 of them that are dishonest, who don't like their country, who don't have their country at heart, that's a serious problem. And when these people in here, when they are corrupt, people at the other branch of government, the executive will be corrupt, the judiciary will be corrupt. And when those three branches of government are corrupt and dishonest and moving out with dishonesty, guess what happens? It is the ordinary Liberians feels the pain. They are fine because they know where they're going to get it. They are friendly with all of the business people. They have loopholes. They know what they're going to do. But it is the ordinary majority of the people that will be feeling the pain. So it is our duty as a citizen, conscious citizen that love his of our country. We'll be careful as to how we keep our conversation. We'll be careful how to get to these people when they even say A. We bring them, we pet them. You see, if you watch international cable wire, Christians Anapol, all of those people go into war-torn country, go into the Baghdad, the Syria. What happened? They disguise themselves, they dress like an Arab, they dress like a Muslim, they dress in whatever form. Why? Because they are going to get the piece of information to put it out. They can't say we're not going there because the place is dangerous, so they have to dress like that, they have to be like that. That's what journalism is all about. So when you are entertainer to entice people, what you do to attract people, that's a different thing. You're doing your public relation, that's a different thing. But when you come on LPR here and you anticipate to hear something you think you want to hear, that's not my job to tell you what you need to hear. I can take your ideas. I can take your questions that make sense. I can take that questions. But my job as an anchor here is to tell you what you need to know. Does that suggest I know or no? That's not what I'm saying. I will try to keep focus on the issues. I will try to respect, not to protect them, but we must create that far line. There must be a corridor. Why? Because I want to bring in here. I want to bring other people. But when I bring a guest here and I allow people to insult that individual, guess what? He or she going to tell them, when you go there, they're going to be cussing you. So the next time we call them, they don't show up. And that's why you see most of those people, they are behaving the way they are behaving. Even though some of them are naturally bad, very dishonest, very corrupt, but they use these instances to paint all down. And as the result, we do not get the information that we're supposed to get from our country. And if we don't get that information, I mean, you are not doing good. I am not doing good because we fail to institute, to put a system in place, right? Yes, we can disagree with him, but that it doesn't warrant for us to be abusive, to be cussing people. This is how this country here, this is how we Liberians, organizations here are so fragmented. They are so corrupt. All the organizations here, they are in crisis, all because of finances. That's all about it. So we ourselves, we have to check ourselves as well. Because all of these things here, you leave from here, you go in there, and that's where the problem comes from. So we are just only saying, if we are to forge ahead as a sovereign nation, we must change, we must adopt new systems, we must renew our minds, we must renew our thinking, we must be rational, we must be objective. We must give people the benefit of this doubt to explain themselves, and we can ultimately make our decisions as to whether they are telling us the truth or not. At least you have an argument to put in place against that person. That's my closing talking point here this evening. Until then, I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you for your time.
Hallelujah, 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 hey, hallelujah, hey. Hallelujah, hey. The highest praise, hallelujah, hey. Give him the highest praise, hallelujah, hey. Give me the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it see. This is the time. come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart, let the unity